To back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by crude pride.
RV buyers, it's a fact. Jayco builds America's best-selling models with superior engineering, Amish craftsmanship, and the best in the business warranty. Valley RV Supercenter is America's top volume Jayco store because they make them affordable. For comfort and reliability, there's no better choice than Jayco. And for a great buy, there's no better choice than Valley RV Supercenter. Stop by and see them in Kent and check out their full Jayco lineup. Or visit valleyrvsupercenter.com, where journeys begin.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
The roar of the crowd here at Giesa Field, just having a flyover. The national anthem wrapped up. And that means it is time for the 117th edition of the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is honored to support a classic rivalry between these two exciting teams and this year's Boeing Apple Cup. We've got our whole team, Jessamine McIntyre down on the field, Jerry Kylo, our engineer, Zane Saggio back in the studio, our halftime scoreboard host, Austin Samuels. And next to Alex Brink, the Husky killer himself, Chris King here. Alex, no WSU quarterback in history has won more Apple Cups than you. Zevi Eckhouse is the starter. We know that. If you could have a word with Zevi right now as Butch comes out on the ATV, what would you tell him about not only this opportunity for him, but what this rivalry means?
It's just about riding the knife's edge, man. Like, it's so easy in these types of games, right, to maybe worry a little too much about like what it all means, and it's not that. It's what I always found to be great about it is that when I got out on the field, whether it was Husky Stadium or here in Pullman, that energy from the crowd and the feeling I had was what carried me and made me feel like there was something extra, and I could give a little bit extra, right, a little extra focus, a little extra intensity, and I think you got to ride that knife's edge the whole thing. Talked about his hyper confidence. He is uniquely suited for this chance right now to be the leader of this Washington State football offense, and not just being the quarterback, right, but really being the heartbeat of this team. And I think for Zevi Eckhouse, it's about embracing that and being that guy that can go make himself a Cougar legend today.
And he really has an opportunity to do that. In some ways, in his only start of his Cougar career, he made himself a little bit of a legend just in how that game, everyone counted the Cougs out going into the Holiday Bowl. Everyone thought this was such a depleted roster. How would this team even compete with Syracuse, a top 25 team? And not only did the Cougs compete, they had the lead for a good chunk of that game and were in until the fourth quarter. But we'll say for Zevi, what kind of got him into the Cougs in some trouble late was the turnovers. How much is that a concern with Zevi and being against this quality opponent and on this stage?
Yeah, you got to be smart. Look, the reality of it is you're going to get in situations, right, and especially a guy like Zevi Eckhouse who can create with his legs, you're going to get in situations where you maybe just want to do just a little bit too much, and it's that moment where his experience, all the snaps he had at Bryant, all the backup reps he had over the last 2 years, that opportunity he had in the bowl game, that's got to, when that moment comes, it should kick in like second nature. Okay, it's time to throw this one away, or it's time to slide and get down, or two hands on the football, right? That's how we think as a quarterback when those moments come at the split-second decision. And for Zevi, that's where you got to ride. That's that knife's edge I'm talking about. Not trying to do too much, but still go out and be a playmaker.
Zevi's legs, you mentioned it, that is now a factor for opposing teams to have to think about, and that's a weapon for the Cougs. What does Zevi Eckhouse as the starting quarterback potentially bring to help out the running game, which has been kind of lackluster to this point for the Cougs.
There's a couple different layers. The first one's his decision making, right? His ability to understand when it's time to hand the ball off in the RPO game and not throw the ball, right? And not throw the ball in the RPO game. But then his legs, he adds an extra gap. He can keep the ball and on those zone reads, right? He can use his legs to be a runner, and that's going to open things up.
Was interesting, and you made mention this earlier, and Jackson Potter did some really good things. He's a redshirt sophomore, and let's hope he has a bright future in front of him. But Zevi Eckhouse now the starter. But mentioning in that North Texas game in the RPO game where maybe there were some decisions that could have gone a little differently if you decided not to throw it and to hand it off. There was some meat on the bone for the Cougs.
Very specifically, I went back and watched that North Texas tape. There was absolutely opportunities to hand the ball off instead of throw the RPO pat screen or quick pass where Angel Johnson would have had a big one. And so he's got to be able to see that today, Zevi Eckhouse.
Jimmy Rogers leads the Cougs out onto the field. $75 new players for this Washington State team, but there are those returners. Josh Meredith had a career high 111 yards in last year's Apple Cup, a breakout game for him. He had the touchdown catch that was the final points for the Cougs in that victory. Ray-Am Stevenson had a sack in that game. Going into last year's Apple Cup, the Coug who had played the most snaps against the Huskies was Christian Hilborn, who's back for his final Apple Cup. Brock Dew, plenty of action against the Huskies. So even though there's so much new, there was so much roster turnover, Alex, there are guys in that locker room who know all about the Apple Cup.
There absolutely is. Guys that have had the snaps, or guys that grew up in the state of Washington like Trey Lechner that know all about what this rivalry is. And I guarantee you that those guys imparted their wisdom on the rest of this roster and all those new players. And you know what I know for a fact, Chris, is as soon as that team ran out of that tunnel and saw this place full, that they understood exactly what this rivalry is all about.
And in some ways, that locker room's aware of not only they lived it, they had to recap it, they had to learn from them how bad last week was in that 59-10 loss, but also aware too, the Huskies are 2-0, they're coming off a bye. The Huskies are very aware of how bad last week was for the Cougs, and it feels like, boy, if Washington State could get off to a hot start or get the Huskies back on their heels a little bit, the onus kind of falls on UW in this matchup.
Yeah, you got kind of weather probably the early storm too, right? Washington's team speed is really going to pop off the bat, particularly offensively. So I'm looking for that Washington State defense to, you heard Coach Rogers talk about in the pregame, swarm and gang tackle and get out in space and make plays. And if we see that early, I think that's going to give me a lot of confidence that Washington State, can hang in this game late into the fourth quarter. And so, again, it's that early part that I'm looking to see them weather the storm of the Husky athleticism.
Captains are making their way to midfield. We'll go over our game officials real quick. Referee Tim O'Day, umpire Ken Zelamski, head line judge B.J. Henry, line judge Jess Meslow, field judge Nicole Randolph, side judge Joel Clay, back judge Robert Smith. And let's head down to Jess for the coin toss.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over.
Washington is a visitor. You get to make the call. Please make the call now. Tails is his call. We'll let it hit the ground. It is a head. You won the toss.
And just like they like to do, whenever they win the toss, they defer. And so the defense will start out on the field. We'll have to wait until the Cougs' first offensive possession to see what Zevi Eckhouse brings into this one. Your game captains today are Tucker Large, Caleb Fransel, Josh Meredith, and Brock Dew, guys. So a little fresh leadership up there. Obviously, some familiar names, but yeah, I don't believe I've seen Fransel starting as the game captain before. So a little bit of a different look, and let's see what we got.
We'll get our first look at Damon Williams Jr., the talented quarterback for the University of Washington. Of course, Jonah Coleman as well. And it's pretty special, I know, for you, Alex, right now, the raising of the flag, someone who is near and dear to your heart. Can you tell us who's raising that flag right now at Giesa Field?
Yeah, that's my old coach and a Cougar legend in his own right, Bill Doba. Just an incredible man. He told me today, I saw him up here in the booth, 85 years young. He said he's feeling great, looks great, and he got to raise the flag today. That is so dang special. And there are a lot of players that play for Coach Doba, and they would all say the same thing, that man is salt of the earth and like a second father to all of us.
Coach Doba here, back in Pullman. So great to see him as the Cougs take to the field. How the Cougs are looking, the uniform combination today, crimson helmets with the white Cougar head logo, anthracite jerseys with the white numbers and crimson trim, and the crimson pants. For the University of Washington, they are wearing gold helmets with the purple W logo, white jerseys with purple letters, and gold trim with white pants. Washington State will kick it off. It is the Bowie Apple Cup. This series started in 1900. This is the 117th edition. Washington State winning last year. That memorable instant classic for the Cougs, getting the victory over the Huskies in Seattle. A big Beat the Huskies banner in the student section, taking up one of those lower sections, a whole lower section being waved. And back deep it is Jonah Coleman. Ryan Harris steps up, kicks it off, and this will be over the head of Adam Muhammad, who's back there with Jonah Coleman, and it will be a touchback. Here we go. Alex, last week the Cougs gave up a lot of points, 59, but it's unfair to hang all the blame on the defense with the real tough field position after those 5 turnovers.
That's why I'm excited to see this defense back on the field. I mean, just totally unrealistic to expect a defense to get stops, that many stops, when they're with that starting field position in their own territory, inside the 30. I'm ready to see these guys fly around and turn the page on last week.
Damon Williams Jr., a dynamic quarterback who is a dual threat, so dangerous with his legs. Jonah Coleman, so difficult to bring down against Colorado State in the opener. 24 carries, 177 yards. Here's the snap back to Williams. 1st and 10 from the 25. Feeling the pressure. He's brought down. The Cougs get the sack on the first play from scrimmage. It's Buda Paletti who sacks Damon Williams Jr. and it will go down as a loss of 7.
Yeah, we heard a lot about that remade Husky offensive line. Buda Paletti gave left tackle Carver Willis the business. Just an easy inside pass rush move from Paletti, the transfer from New Mexico State. What a move to start off for the Coug defense.
I'll even mark him down all the way back at the 12. It is 2nd and 8, I should say the 17. Here's the snap, empty set, 2nd and 8 over the middle, open man, pass caught, 1st down and more. Huskies respond. It is Denzel Boston, that top target for the wide receiving group for the Huskies. Boston, the Emerald Ridge High School product, gets the ball out to the 42-yard line, a pickup of 25, 1st down for Washington.
Yeah, you see what makes Damon Williams special. I saw him at the Elite 11 finals, top 20 quarterbacks in the country coming out of high school. He's a gifted passer on top of being a great athlete.
No score, opening drive here at the Apple Cup. 1st and 10 for the 42. First give of the day to Jonah Coleman. Tries to get a swing move past Matthew Durant, grabs him by the hips and lassos him down. Still a solid pickup. He'll get 5 on the 1st down carry.
Yeah, the thing about going against Jonah Coleman, you got to get him to chop his feet in the backfield. You can't let him get a downhill, some downhill steam at you. 5'9", but 220 pounds, Chris. He's built like a bowling ball, and when that bowling ball starts moving forward, it's hard to stop.
2nd and 5 for the Huskies at their own 47. Snap back, 4-man rush, pass out in the flat to Jonah Coleman, gets a full head of steam. He's shoved out of bounds by Cougar linebacker Parker McKenna. Not quite into Cougar territory, only to the 49-yard line. Will go down as just a gain of 2, and it sets up 3rd and 3 for the Huskies.
Yeah, and you got to expect this is probably 2-down territory for the Huskies. You know, if they get to 4th and short, they're going to want to go for it with a dynamic quarterback and a good running game. You saw Parker McKenna out in the flat. A lot is going to be asked of number 44 today, both in the run and the pass game.
Empty set, Coleman split out wide to the left. Snap to Williams, quick screen pass to Raiden Vines-Bright, and he's got the 1st down, breaks 1 tackle, and he's out to the 45 in Cougar territory. He needed 3. He ends up with 6 yards, and this opening drive of the game continues for Washington. No score here at Giesa Field. 84 degrees here in Pullman, and the stands are absolutely packed here for the Apple Cup.
Yeah, you see those young receivers for the Huskies making an impact right there. Vines-Bright, true freshman from Tempe, Arizona, went to IMG. Also Desmond Roebuck, another freshman you're going to see a lot at the receiver position for Washington.
Without Amari Evans, here's play action, 1st and 10. Williams has time, looking deep, unloads, has a man, and it will be overthrown. Denzel Boston going stride for stride deep in coverage. Jamari Coulson for the Cougs. Actually, Colby Humphrey, but just out of his reach. And the Huskies, they went for the home run ball there.
Yeah, Damon Williams had it. He honestly just held it maybe 1/2 second too long. Ran out of real estate at the back of the end zone. Boston got behind the Coug safeties on that big post route with Colby Humphrey trailing. The ball was just too far.
2nd and 10. Huskies opening drive of the game have the ball at the Cougar 45-yard line. No score here. It's getting loud at Giesa Field. Snap. Handoff to Jonah Coleman. Looks for a hole and is brought down going straight up the gut. Ran over one Coug, but Anthony Polano, and it's so good to see him back. Jess gave us the update earlier that Polano, who missed last week's game against North Texas, the redshirt freshman, that starting Mike linebacker, is back for the Cougs. So a 4-yard gain. It's 3rd and 6. Huskies with it at the Cougar 41.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of shifts and motions from Jed Fish. He likes to move Coleman around. Cougs got to make sure they communicate really well.
Snap back, 4-man rush. Williams, dangerous with his legs, flushed out, and he will have it with his legs. He's got the first down and more. That is the tough thing on 3rd down, the threat that Damon Williams Jr. brings as that dynamic dual-threat quarterback. He gets 12 yards, and it's a first down for the Huskies. So a long opening drive, no score. Now 11 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Max Balloon had a chance at him from his D tackle spot. That's the thing about Damon Williams. He's probably the fastest player on the field here today.
Coleman to the right of Damon Williams Jr. Snap back, surveying, looking to the left. Williams has time, open receiver. Boston is target, reaches up. Does he make the catch? Waiting for a signal. He does. Tapped a foot down into the end zone. Damon Williams Jr. finds Denzel Boston for a 29-yard touchdown. And the Huskies are able to march down the field and hit pay dirt on the opening drive of the game. 6-0 Washington, 10:53 to go in the first quarter.
And Boston's a big receiver, 6'4", 210. He runs the wheel route down the sideline, gets matched up on Colby Humphrey at 5'11", and good ball by Damon Williams up high. You see the strong hands from the veteran receiver to snatch it and get the foot down. Really nice body control from Boston.
In some ways, and not how the Cougs would like it. A little bit of deja vu to that opening drive for North Texas last week. An early sack. Here's the point after attempt from Grady Gross. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 in favor of the Huskies, where the Cougs got a sack on the very first play. It made it 2nd and 18, but immediately a 25-yard pickup that got him out of that tough field position and got him cooking. And then a 3rd and 6 where it was Damon Williams Jr. who got the first down with his legs.
That's going to be the push-pull all night. If Washington State can get the Huskies behind the chains on first down like they did, like you said a couple times, you're still going to end up in these scenarios where whether it's Damon Williams' legs or his ability to throw the football, you have to defend against.
Cougs will have a chance to respond on offense. 10:53 to go, first quarter. It is the Boeing Apple Cup. Washington State trails Washington 7-0. You are listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wagrown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it.
As WSU and UW face off, Boeing is honored to support a classic rivalry between these two exciting teams at this year's Boeing Apple Cup. 7-0 Cougs trailed the Huskies. A 9-play, 75-yard drive for Washington. 4:07 came off the clock. Denzel Boston, a 29-yard touchdown catch. And on to kick it off for the Huskies is Ethan Machowski. Back deep for Washington State. Leighton Smithson, packed Giesa Field. Sunny, mid-September day here on the Palouse. Here's the kickoff, high end over end kick, and it will be a touchback. And let's head down to the field. Jessamine McIntyre. All right, Zevi Eckhouse coming into quarterback. What is the feeling like on the sideline?
Well, the one thing I'll say about that I see from him, starting, playing or not, he is always a phenomenal teammate and a coach on the sideline. So he is pumped up. I mean, we heard from Jimmy Rogers in the pregame interview you had with him that he is the best leader that they have at that position right now, and it is everything that I see from him on a personal level with his teammates.
First start of the season for Zevi Eckhouse. Cougs making a change at quarterback. He is the starter for Washington State. Angel Johnson in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 25. Here's the snap, a design run for Zevi. Swim move past one Husky, and Zevi a solid first down gain. Alex, you talked about it, what he can do with his legs. 7-yard pickup there.
Yeah, right away you just see the creativity and the ability to add in Zevi's legs. 4 by 0 to one side, and then you send the running back to the same side. 5 guys going to the left. Zevi Eckhouse running back off right tackle for a good gain on first down.
Zevi, his second start as a Coug. Of course, the first one was what he did in the Holiday Bowl when Washington State battled with top 25 Syracuse last year with a depleted roster. Pistol formation, 2nd and 3. Here's the snap. It's going to be handoff to Angel Johnson. Cuts back to the inside. He'll have the first down. Johnson gets 4, needed 3 to move the 6. It's a fresh set of downs for the Cougs. Washington State down 7-0 here in the first quarter of the Apple Cup, but it's the opening drive of the game for the Cougs.
You love that from Angel Johnson. A good cutback from left back to the right. Really decisive run from the veteran running back. We've been waiting to see Johnson get going, and I think he just needs a little bit of positive action early in the game.
We see Devin Ellison and Landon Wright split out to the right for Washington State. This is the debut for Ellison.
And a tackle out there, extra offensive lineman. Oh, no, that's not.
Here's the snap, 1st and 10, back to the ground. Angel Johnson up the middle, little hesitation, and the stutter step helped him out. Got as much as he could. He's out to the 39-yard line. Safety Alex McLaughlin with the tackle. He'll get 3 yards on that first down run for the Cougs. Under 10 minutes to play first quarter. Washington State trying to answer back, down 7-0 as the Huskies march down the field and got a touchdown on their opening drive.
Yeah, just important to keep being ahead of the change, right? Not a great gain on first down, but you get something to set up that 2nd and 7. Stay on schedule.
Josh Meredith, Jeremiah Noga split out to the right along with Leighton Smithson. Maxwell Woods in the game at running back. Smithson in motion, faking the handoff. Eckhouse pressure in his face. Little flip pass into the hands of Maxwell Woods. Chased down from behind, but again, for the Cougs, still a positive gain. He gets 6, and it's none other than former Coug Buda Alukta who makes the tackle for the Huskies.
Yeah, Danny Freund wanted to get Maxwell Woods into the game more after his showing last week against North Texas. Buda Alukta, nice job flowing over the top. We've seen Alukta obviously before here at Giesa Field, able to run sideline to sideline. Good example of that right there.
Specifically what Woods did in the passing game. A career-high 5 catches, 42 yards last week against North Texas. 3rd and 4 for Washington State. Cougs at their own 42. Kirby Voorhees to the right of Eckhouse. Shotgun snap back. 4-man rush. Eckhouse surveys, looks through his progressions. Has an open man over the middle. It is Josh Meredith who hauls in the catch to the Husky 47. The Cougs get the big conversion on 3rd down. Meredith picks up 11 yards. Again, it was last year in the Apple Cup. 7 receptions, a career high 111 yards, and that final touchdown in the Cougar victory.
Yeah, and you love that from Eckhouse working to his 3rd read, who's Meredith. But I love that from Meredith, who's working against Leroy Bryant. Bryant's moved from nickel to play that corner spot with Takario Davis out, and Meredith put a great route on him, running the in route for a first down.
Here's the snap. Eckhouse play action, rolls out to his right, finds his tight end Trey Lechner, lowers his shoulders, gets every inch he could, and the Cougs make it out to the Washington 44-yard line. 3 yards there for the tied in. And it feels like under Eckhouse here in this opening drive, we haven't seen any explosive plays, but just these chunk pickups, Alex, and the Cougs have been able to march down the field and get into Husky territory.
Yeah, really good job of mixing up play calls from Danny Freund. Trey Lechner getting involved, again, stretching the defense sideline to sideline a little bit. QB run in there. We've seen some pistol action. Obviously, we've seen that big play on third down. A good mix of play calls for Washington State.
7-0, Cougs trail. 7 minutes to play first quarter. Cougs 2nd and 7 at the Washington 44. Here's the snap. They go to the ground. Angel Johnson right up the gut. Johnson just nothing there. Those anthracite Cougar jerseys trying to create a hole, but a wall of those white Husky uniforms there to greet him. Just a gain of 1. 3rd and 6 now for the Cougs at the Washington 43.
Yeah, one of the things that's hard for Washington State against this Husky defense is they run what we call a bare front. That means there's 5 down linemen, specifically 3 guys right in the middle over the guard, the center, and the other guard, and it makes it tough to move that line of scrimmage sometimes.
Cougs already converted on a 3rd and 6. Here's another one. 3rd and 6 at the Husky 43. Eckhouse takes the shotgun snap. Zevi feeling the pressure, gets rid of it. Pass into traffic, deflected, and it's intercepted. Alex McLaughlin for the Huskies, and some return yardage to go with it. He's tackled from behind and brought down near midfield. The tackle made by Washington State center Brock Dew, but for the Cougs, who turned the ball over 5 times last week, all in the first half, their first offensive possession of the game ends in a turnover here. Alex McLaughlin picks off Zevi Eckhouse. 6:05 to play. First quarter, Huskies up 7-0 on the Cougs, and they will take over very close to midfield. With the turnover, we'll take a break. More from Giesa Field after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Boeing is excited to celebrate with the fans and the community at the Boeing Apple Cup game. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of this classic rivalry. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, we're proud to bring Washington together to cheer on these 2 teams and celebrate this great tradition. Boeing is honored to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup and support our communities across Washington.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Brown family honors the legacy of founder Andrew Brown's late grandfather, William Bittner Brown. Every decision made from farm to glass reflects their commitment to premium Northwest wine and spirits. Whether you're visiting one of Brown's tasting rooms or opening a bottle in your own home, Andrew and his wife, Courtney, welcome you to their extended family where good friends, good food and wine, and good times are always on the agenda. Stop by one of our tasting rooms, Spokane, Walla Walla, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, or Portland, and get 20% off a glass this season when you mention WSU.
Back at Giesa Field, 7-0. Cougs trail the Huskies. 6:05 to play first quarter. Huskies opening drive of the day. Marched down, got a touchdown. Cougs got into Husky territory, but the last play, Zevi Eckhouse intercepted by Husky safety Alex McLaughlin. Right now, we're close to the top of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network. And we've got a very special guest joining us in the booth. It is Washington State President Elizabeth Cantwell. President Cantwell, thanks for being here. How are you doing today? Well, we've got President Cantwell here. Let's get you a mic that works. How about that? Let's try that out there.
Great, Chris, thanks for having me. I am so glad to be talking to everybody, but I'm particularly glad to be at this amazing game with this amazing energy. This is my first Apple Cup, and it is awesome.
And we can feel it here. And the Cougs on defense bringing the energy. 1st and 10 for the Huskies from their own 47. Attempted handoff to Jonah Coleman. Cougs swarming him, and it'll be a loss of 3. So 2nd and 13 coming up. Well, it's not only the Boeing Apple Cup today, but it's Apple Cup week. How has the whole week been?
It's been wild. It has been wild. I'll tell you, we've been focusing so much on fan experience and basically showing everyone what it's like to be a Coug here in Pullman around this kind of activity, and I think it's going really well.
2nd and 13, faking the handoff. Williams tucks and run. The quarterback with some room. It's a foot race to the 35. He'll be shoved out of bounds by the last line of defense. It is Tucker Large, but DeMond Williams Jr. has been dangerous with his legs. He had a conversion on 3rd down on that first drive, and DeMond Williams Jr., a chunk play there, gets the ball all the way to the Washington State 30-yard line. And 7-0 again our score. Huskies with the ball at the Cougar 30-yard line as DeMond Williams Jr. goes back under center. 5 minutes and counting to go. First quarter, Cougs trail the Huskies 7-0. Here's the handoff on this sweep. Plenty of room over to the side for Jordan Washington, but going sideline to sideline, it's Cale Reeder with the tackle. Will be a positive pickup, though, of 3 yards. So, President Campbell, we have you here. I want to get your thoughts on the Apple Cup. How important is it for the university and the state to have this rivalry game?
It's super important for the state, and I think we all understand when we can do these in-state rivalries, we keep alive this whole element of the value of these regional competitions. They are huge for the state, but they also show everyone everywhere what we're about.
Well said there. It is now 2nd and 7. Huskies at the Cougar 27. Pressure coming. DeMond Williams Jr. gets it out to Coleman in the flat. He'll be shoved out of bounds. Looks like shy of the first down marker. They are right with them is Anthony Pilano, the redshirt freshman linebacker, and it will be short. A 3rd and short coming up. 7-0 Cougs trail. Huskies getting good field position on this drive after the Zevi Eckhouse interception, and the defense being asked to try to come up with this stop here. A crucial 3rd down, 3rd and 3. Coleman to the right of DeMond Williams Jr., always a threat with his legs. It's a design run for Williams. He gets off to the races, untouched, tiptoes near sideline. He's in for a touchdown. On 3rd and 3, DeMond Williams Jr. has a 23-yard touchdown run, and the Huskies jump out to a 13-0 lead. Point after pending here first quarter with 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go. Grady Gross will attempt the point after attempt. So the turnover, Zevi Eckhouse opening drive for the Cougs, throwing an interception when Washington State had it in Husky territory, giving the Huskies good field position, and they were able to pounce. Here's the point after attempt. It is up, and it is good. President Cantwell, I want to know, just in your time in the role, what you've learned about the Cougar fan base and what it means to be a Coug.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, it is, the fan base is amazing. It's one of the reasons that I was attracted here. It's hallmark. It's recognized around the country and around the world. And I got to tell you, no matter what the outcome is, the Cougar fan base is always here and always ready to move us forward. And that is absolutely important for all of us as we get back into the new pack and move forward and compete and win in the pack.
Well said. I know you're busy. We'll let you go, but anything else you want Coug fans to know?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I got to tell you, I am all in for our coach and particularly for our young men on this team. You all know the deficits that they're starting with. Coach is incredible. I have enormous faith in his ability to get us where we need to go in the time frame we need to go. And these young men are good, and they put their heart and soul into it. And I would just ask everybody to be not just compassionate, but really understand that they are building right now, and they will be fine.
President Campbell, thank you for being here. Appreciate all that you do, and go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Again, that is President Canwell of WSU stopping by the booth here for the Boeing Apple Cup. Cougs down 14-0. We'll look to respond. We'll take a timeout, come back after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
To field the kickoff for the Huskies, a touchback, and the Cougar offense will look to respond. 14-0 Washington leads Washington State here in the Boeing Apple Cup. 3:47 to go first quarter. Alex, we saw that quick touchdown drive for the Huskies. What are you looking for here for the Cougs as they're trying to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, they got to stay out of those third and longs, right? Try and stay away from having to drop back pass. Obviously, a good pass for us that last series. Zach Durfee was able to get in, hit Zevi, cause that interception.
Here's the snap. Zevi Eckhouse hands it off to Angel Johnson. Johnson, that initial push there, and then the secondary push going to get him forward progress out to the 30-yard line. So the Cougar running attack, again, Washington State hasn't been able to get a whole lot of plays over 10 yards in this game, but on their first drive before the pick, they got it into Husky territory. But the running game, at least it's not negative yards. It's 2, 3, 4, 5 yards.
Yeah, and right there they get 5 yards on first down, again, ahead of the chains. It's really about getting into those third and shorts or getting first downs on these second and mediums and, staying consistent there.
Trey Lechner to the left of Eckhouse. To the right is Kirby Voorhees, and behind him is Angel Johnson. Johnson now splits out wide. Design run. Eckhouse swims by a couple of Huskies and walloped from behind. Hit hard, and it was Devin Bryant who got Eckhouse from behind. So a lot of work by Zevi, but he gets 2 yards. It will be 3rd and 3 here for the Cougs. Crucial spot, trying to answer back down 14-0. It's 3rd and 3 for the Cougs at their own 32.
Yeah, and honestly pretty nifty from Zevi Eckhouse to avoid a loss there. That could have been much worse. I think the Huskies had Washington State outnumbered into that QB run.
Boy, this feels crucial here if you're the Cougs. You're trying to avoid a 3-and-out in the worst way, down 14-0. 3rd and 3. At your own 32. Huskies look like they're bringing pressure. Meredith in motion. Snap back to Eckhouse. Cougs will fake the handoff. It's a little pass out to Leo Pulalasi. All depends on if he stayed in bounds or not, and he did. Dump off to Leo, the Washington native, comes through and gets 5 yards on 3rd and 3. The Cougs do avoid the 3-and-out.
Yeah, good execution by Washington State right there, using Josh Meredith as a little window dressing. He does a yo-yo motion. He comes into Eckhouse and then kind of whips back out of it, gets the defense looking that way, and then they run a quick little sprint out off play action to Leo Pulalasi, and Zevi delivered a good ball so he could run upfield and get the first down.
They're on 37. Cougs have it 1st and 10. Landon Wright in motion. Play action. Zevi with some time. Flushed out of the pocket. He heaves it up. Has an open man. Devin Ellison. First catch for the Cougar wide receiver. Shoestring tackle. There was more to be had. Alex McLaughlin, who had that interception, stops Ellison, but Devin Ellison still gets into Husky territory to the 45-yard line. 18 yards there for the Cougs.
Yeah, you see the craftiness of Zevi Eckhouse right there. He's able to step up in the pocket, breaks contain. He's all by himself. He can survey the field and find Devin Ellison hiding kind of in that middle open zone, and Ellison gets his first catch as a Coug.
Maxwell Woods in the game. Carter Papps, true freshman wide receiver, split out wide to the near side. Cougs down 14-0. First quarter. Washington State has it 1st and 10 at the Husky 45. Movement on the line. Both sides are pointing the opposite direction as flags are all over the field. This will be our first penalty marker of the game.
Yeah, Washington jumped, and Cougs tried to react to it. And I think that defensive player was in the neutral zone.
We'll listen in for an explanation.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty against left guard Johnny Lester, first-year starter for the Cougs, redshirt junior out of Spokane. Went to Northwest Christian High School, was a tight end in high school, became an offensive lineman here at WSU. So the Cougs.
The issue was they didn't snap. The center didn't snap the ball. The left guard, left tackle moved, but they still got to snap the ball to induce that penalty by the defense.
Down 14-0. Washington State with the ball right at midfield. 1st and 15. Eckhouse with the snap pressure in his face gets rid of it and throws it, trying to find Maxwell Woods. Ended up close to former Coug Buda Al-Ukta. It will be an incompletion, now 2nd and 15.
And you see the challenges this Husky defense face. It's man coverage. You have that bare front, so you have those 5 defensive linemen covering up all the offensive linemen. Each offensive lineman has a one-on-one. Unlike playing a 4-down front or a 3-down front where offensive linemen can help each other out, that means every guy has to win their battle. And right there, right guard A.J. Vaipulu did not, and it was pressure on Eckhouse.
Can the Cougs make it 3rd and manageable? 2nd and 15 right from the 50. Eckhouse, 5 on the play clock, takes the snap, drops back, throws it near the original first down marker to the tight end Adamola Filet. Filet with the catch, transfer tight end from Michigan State. First catch as a Coug. It will only be a gain of 3, so 3rd now and 13. Cougs back in Husky territory, but at the 47.
Yeah, and these, again, those kind of self-inflicted wounds, a penalty on first down gets you in a bad spot after you picked up a big first down, and now you set up a 3rd and long. Really got to be smart here if you're Zevi Eckhouse in the chances you're willing to take to pick up this first down.
3rd and 13, empty set, a little bit of movement. Is there a flag? Not yet. Zevi feeling the pressure in his face. There is a flag down. He heaves it up. A lot of contact. There should be a second flag, and there will be a rainbow toss near the 20 for Landon Wright, and he was bear hugged by the Husky secondary. We'll see what the first flag's for, but Alex, that's going to be pass interference by all indications.
Yeah, and this time, I hope it looks like Brock Dew went ahead and snapped the ball when the Huskies were in across the line of scrimmage. They get that. They should have gotten that flag potentially, and then, like you said, the pass interference. Zevi just throws up a prayer because
there are 2 fouls on the play, both committed by the defense. Right. Onside defense number 48. That penalty has been declined. Pass interference, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down. That is the end of the first quarter.
Really savvy play by the veteran Zevi Eckhouse. He knew he got the offside penalty on the defense, so he just throws up a prayer downfield because they're going to get it no matter what. It's a free play, right? Turns into the penalty to convert the first down for Washington State.
Cougs had it 1st and 15. You're down 14-0. Critical for the Cougs to keep this drive going, and they did. Well, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. We go to the second quarter here on this sun-soaked Saturday. It is the Apple Cup, the warmest Apple Cup in history. Washington State looking to respond. They've got the ball in Husky territory at the Washington 32. Cougs down to the Huskies 14-0. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Hey fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wagrown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it.
Your audio home for all things Cougar Athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
Listen to this crowd at Giesa Field, the back home video playing last year's finish to the Apple Cup when the Cougs beat the Huskies. Here we're starting the second quarter of the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. We got our whole crew here on this beautiful Saturday on the Palouse. The Apple Cup is back in Pullman. Tougher start for the Cougs, down 14-0. On the sidelines, Jessamine McIntyre. Up here in the booth, our engineer, Jerry Kylo. Scoreboard halftime host, Austin Samuels. And next to the Husky killer himself, Alex Brink, Chris King joining you. 14-0 Cougs trail. Washington got the ball to begin the game, marched down the field, 75-yard drive, 9 plays. Denzel Boston, a 29-yard touchdown reception. Cougs, on their first drive, were in Husky territory, but Zevi Eckhouse hit as he was thrown. Interception. Huskies got the ball near midfield after the pick, and it was Damon Williams Jr., the dangerous, talented quarterback for the Huskies, who scampered, used his legs to get a 23-yard touchdown. Cougs down 14-0. But Alex, this has been an encouraging drive, and especially that pass interference penalty going into the timeout.
I talked about having to weather the early storm from the Huskies. This is that moment for Washington State right now. Talked about putting a drive together before. Now they catch a break on this drive on a 3rd and extra long and are able to get a first down. Got to stay ahead of the chains here on first down, get something positive. Got to have points coming out of this drive.
Zevi Eckhouse, 6 of 8 passing, 43 yards, no touchdowns. That interception with his legs, 2 carries, 9 yards. Into the backfield comes Carter Paps, the freshman wide receiver. Here's the snap, a design run. Paps will be there as an extra blocker. Extra effort by Zevi, keeping those legs churning, and he gets it all the way down to the 26-yard line. So the Cougs was 1st and 10 at the Husky 33-yard line. And a nice positive game there. As you talked about before the game, Alex, at Zevi's legs, that's an additional weapon with him in a quarterback.
Oh, shades of John Mateer there, the way he was able to keep the pile moving, doesn't stop turning his legs, and he gets hit about 3 yards across the line of scrimmage and carries the defense another 3 yards to set up a 2nd and 4.
Can the Cougs get points here, getting close to the red zone? 2nd and 4 at the Washington 26. Brandon Ganesha-Morthy split out wide to the left. Tony Freeman in motion. The snap, it's a handoff to Kirby Voorhees. Voorhees met on the edge. Still going. Wow, Voorhees looking like a bowling ball all the way to the 20. Cougs reached the Rose Hours red zone. He was dead to rights. Tai U'Ungalale had him wrapped up, and somehow he slithered free.
Yeah, just kind of ducked out of it, and then I think it was A.J. Vaipulu helped kind of carry him forward. Vaipulu missed the block on U'Ungalele, and then able to carry Voorhees forward, picks up the first down, so I guess no harm, no foul for Vaipulu.
So the Cougars entering the Rose Hours red zone for the first time today. Washington State down 14-0. You're a minute in to the second quarter. Chance to cut into that 14-point Husky lead. Here's the snap. Eckhouse looking, throws it to Kirby Voorhees, tiptoeing near sideline and loses his balance, comes out of bounds. Boy, had he been able to kind of right himself, he might have been able to walk into the end zone. Instead, it's still a positive gain. Cougs get 8, 2nd and 2 now at the Husky 12.
Gosh, that should have been much more. Zevi it happened a little late, and Zevi kind of threw it a little behind Voorhees, which makes Voorhees lose his balance and then starts leaning outside. Great job by the running back to stay in bounds and pick up positive yards, but certainly could have been more than that.
Looks like there might be some communication issues as Eckhouse kind of pointing his hands onto his helmet. Play clock down to 10. Cougs haven't broke the huddle yet, and Jimmy Rogers will have to burn his first timeout. And you don't want to. This is such a crucial spot here, Alex. The difference between settling for a field goal attempt, potentially getting a touchdown.
Timeout on the field.
Obviously, you want to be conscious of not wasting timeouts, but this is a spot where you're down 14-0. You need to make this a one-score game if you can. Timeout on the field. We'll take a break ourselves. A quick reminder, check out the all-new Inside WSU Athletics podcast. Each week, hear straight from WSU Director of Athletics, Ann McCoy, as the podcast takes fans inside Cougar Athletics with the latest news and information, including interviews with Cougar coaches, student-athletes, alumni, and staff every week. Find each Inside WSU Athletics podcast episode on the WSU Cougars YouTube page, or download the show and listen on your favorite podcast platform. Cougs down 14-0 to the Huskies, but Washington State has the ball 2nd and 2 at the UW 12-yard line. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Cougs after the timeout back out on the field, down 14-0. It is the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. 12:54 to play first half. Cougs looking to cut into that 14-point deficit. It is 2nd and 2 at the Husky 12-yard line. Tony Freeman in motion, pistol formation. Zevi Eckhouse design run, met up in the backfield, still fighting, but he maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, and he does just that. So Eckhouse being asked to do quite a bit with his legs. It's Bryce Butler, 6'5", 320 pounds, an interior defensive lineman for the Huskies. They've got some beef up front, Alex.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, again, that's why they're able to play the front that they're trying to play is, they just want to kind of gum up the middle with those three big interior guys, let their two pass rushers off the edge get one-on-ones with the tackles.
Ademola Filet in at tight end along with Bo Baker. Kirby Voorhees, the running back for Washington State. Tight formation. To the right is Jeremiah Noga. Lane Smithson, the other wide receiver. Play action, wide open, making the catch. It's Bo Baker. Touchdown, Washington State. Bo Baker comes through. The first catch of his college career is a touchdown here in the Apple Cup. 14-6. Cougs get their first points.
And listen to this place, Chris. What a play call by Danny Freund. Everybody thinks run in that situation. Quick play action on the inside. Bo Baker fakes like he's blocking and then sneaks out into the flat, and Zebi's able to find him with a touch ball. Beautiful design, beautiful execution, and the Cougs are on the board.
On for the point after attempt, Jack Stevens. The kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good. Cougs were down 14-0, but a gritty drive for Washington State. And the first career catch for Bo Baker is a touchdown. Bo Baker, the redshirt freshman tight end, did not play last year. He redshirted with this staff at South Dakota State. Coming back from tearing an ACL in August of 2024, he was two-time All-Conference as a quarterback in high school before moving to a tight end as a senior. Also a very good basketball player, scored over 1,000 points. And the word from offensive coordinator Danny Freund this week was Bo Baker's going to see more snaps. And what a snap he had. What a play he had there for the Cougs.
Yeah, Danny told me that Bo Baker's a future NFL caliber tight end. They were just waiting to get him back off that injury. Good to see Baker in there and make an impact right away.
And this staff knows tight ends at South Dakota State. Jimmy Rogers had Tucker Kraft. He had Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert was a walk-on at South Dakota State. Cougs, you feel the juice here at Giesa Field on the board. Touchdown drive, 11 plays, 75 yards, took 6:42 off the clock. We'll step aside, timeout, 14-7. Washington State trails Washington. First half, 12:05 to go. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with the new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do lists one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
14-7, Cougs get the touchdown to pull within 7. Huskies 14, Cougs 7 as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Cougs were down 14-0. Huskies have had a touchdown on both of their drives so far. There was a Zevi Eckhouse interception on the first Cougar drive of the game. As here's the kickoff from Ryan Harris. It will be a touchback, but Washington State responding. Bo Baker, that touchdown catch. Let's head down to the sideline. Jess, what was it like? What was the feeling like when the Cougs reached the end zone there?
Well, I got to give this crowd a lot of credit because even down 14-0, they have been alive, but this place just popped off. It is so lovely to hear that, the noise while the Cougs defense is on the field. It actually is at a distracting level, but man, I think everybody kind of took a collective almost sigh of relief and at the same time going crazy.
Now the Cougar defense will be tasked with trying to get a stop. DeMond Williams Jr. under center. Last touchdown was a 23-yard run by the quarterback. Here's the toss into the hands of Jonah Coleman. Right there, Matthew Durant's tag teaming it for the Cougs. Parker McKenna bringing Coleman down. And boy, he is tough to take down to the turf, but the Cougs limited him to just 2 yards on that first down run.
Yeah, but you've already seen between Matthew Durant and Cale Reeder the ability for the Cougs to fly out of the secondary and make tackles in space, and that was just Durant's no regard for his body coming downhill and tackling Jonah Coleman.
Let's see if that momentum will carry over for the Cougar defense. In motion, Raiden Vines-Bright. Here's the snap, play action. Williams pump fake in traffic, and he'll be still up on his feet. Somehow stays up. Wide open Jonah Coleman hits him near midfield, and he gets past the Cougar defender Tucker Large into Washington State territory, and finally brought down from behind by Kenny Worthy III. DeMond Williams Jr. was dead to right, somehow avoided the sack, and it turns into an explosive play as the Huskies get it all the way down to the Washington State 28, a 55-yard catch and run for Jonah Coleman.
It's brutal for Washington State. I mean, a really good coverage on the back end from the secondary allowed what should have been a coverage sack. DeMond Williams able to slip out and make a play.
14-7, Cougs trail. Huskies have it first and 10 from the 28. Here's the pitch over to Adam Muhammad. Plenty of room into the red zone. Tackled from behind by Parker McKenna. Muhammad, part of that two-headed monster. A lot of attention is given to Jonah Coleman, but Muhammad, the sophomore from Glendale, Arizona, an extremely talented running back on his own. He's down to the 12 as he gets 16.
A little quick speed option into the boundary. Cougs are trying to get a line. Looked like Rayam Stevenson's kind of playing a stand-up, kind of roving end. Got caught going the wrong way, and Cougs just outnumbered.
Denzel Boston split out wide to the right. He hauled in the first touchdown for the Huskies. First and 10 at the Cougar 12. Snap back to DeMond Williams Jr. He gives it to Coleman. Coleman gets by one. Cougar still going. He's into the end zone. Wait for the final indication, and it is Jonah Coleman, a 12-yard touchdown run. And right now the issue for the Cougs is the defense is having an awfully hard time slowing down the Huskies. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, and that happened quick. 2 minutes and 3 seconds came off the clock. 4 plays, 75 yards. The highlight for the Huskies, a 55-yard catch by Jonah Coleman after DeMond Williams Jr. somehow avoided the sack.
Yeah, got to take advantage of those type of plays. That last touchdown run by Coleman, Durant's had another shot on him, and that time Coleman got the best of him with the stiff arm, put him to the turf, and then was able to get into the end zone.
20-7 now in favor of the Huskies. 10 minutes, 2 seconds to play in the first half. It is a gorgeous mid-September day. This will be the warmest Apple Cup in history. 81 degrees right now, but so far the Husky offense has been clicking. This is a team that scored 70 points in their last game against UC Davis. Here's the point after attempt, plenty of leg, and Grady Gose splits the uprights 21-7 in favor of Washington. Well, if you're ready to book your next global getaway, you can earn more rewards more often with Atmos Rewards by Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. It's the #1 airline rewards program according to U.S. News and World Report, and your invitation to explore over 1,000 plus global destinations. Apple Cup here in Pullman. Cougar offense will try to respond. It's now the Huskies 21, the Cougs 7, 10:02 to play first half. More after this break from Giesa Field. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Winning a new GMC Canyon at Northern Quest is not without its drawbacks, like jealous neighbors, unsolicited questions about towing capacity, and sudden requests to help move a couch really quick. But something tells us you'll get over it. It's Northern Quest's $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. Play daily for your shot at a new GMC Canyon or $45,000 in cash. The Grander Canyon giveaway, only at Northern Quest.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wagrown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it.
As WSU and UW face off, Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. 10:02 to play first half at Giesa Field. Washington State down to Washington 21-7. Here with Alex Sprink in the booth. Alex, okay, for those just tuning in, how would you describe how this game has unfolded for the Cougs?
Well, Washington State's defense has really struggled to contain a powerful Washington offense, particularly the quarterback, Damon Williams. His legs and his escapability is really what's hurting the Cougs. They got to find an answer there. I think offensively, some good things. Obviously, an interception, early turnover kind of undoes your first good drive. See if that offense can respond here.
It will be a touchback on the kickoff. Cougar offense led by Zevi Eckhouse. And again, for those who were with us at the beginning of the broadcast, the question this week, who is going to be a quarterback for the Cougs? Jimmy Rogers telling us it's Zevi Eckhouse, saying he's earned this true leadership on his part last week in the midst of that tough game against North Texas. Said he didn't play his best through the fall, but he is our best leader at that position at the moment. And talked about he's got the ability with his legs to help make things happen. And here he is. He's done a nice job overall. 8 of 10, 63 yards. He does have the one interception. He was hit as he was thrown, but does have the one touchdown pass as well. Cougs with it, 1st and 10 from their own 25. Here's play action. Zevi Eckhouse looking for someone to throw it to. Has an open man. Walloped as he made the catch was Landon Wright, but a flag is thrown back in the secondary. A big, big thump there for Rylan Dilliard-Allen, the true freshman for the Huskies. And we're waiting word on this.
Holding. Defense number 27. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Holding penalty on Vincent Holmes for the Huskies. The Cougs will have the first down, and it will be out to their own 35. Let's head down to the field, Jess.
Well, guys, I just came to my attention that Zevi Eckhouse's communications were actually out in his helmet on the previous drive, so was kind of flying solo there. They have been repaired and restored, though, for this one.
Well, that you can lean on the veteran Eckhouse, the savviness, all those reps as he was to help able to engineer that touchdown drive for the Cougs. 1st and 10. Eckhouse gets rid of it quick, finds Jeremiah Noga a little behind him. Good job of contorting his body. Noga with the reception. He gets 5 yards. And the Cougs had so many negative plays on offense in that last game against North Texas. Done a good job of at least getting a positive pickup on almost every first down.
And that's actually a good throw from Eckhouse behind. That's a slant from Noga. Man coverage. The defensive back's coming inside. If Eckhouse throws it inside, it's going to be an incompletion. So a really nice adjustment by Noga and a savvy, accurate throw from Zevi Eckhouse.
Here in the Apple Cup, Cougs trail by 14. Huskies 21. Washington State 7. 2nd and 5. 9 minutes to play first half. Cougars with it at their own 40. Keep it on the ground. Angel Johnson looking for somewhere to go, and he is absolutely swallowed up. Tai Uaungalale. If you know that last name, Uaungalale, his cousin DJ, Clemson, Florida State, Oregon State, and the Cougs will take a loss there. They lose 2 yards, and it's now 3rd and 7. This is a tough spot for the Washington State offense.
And, trying to establish a run, but again, against this defensive front, there's 7 guys in the box for Washington. It is so hard to get the numbers you want, and they're aggressive. They're coming across the line of scrimmage fast. Again, more of the plays on the perimeter seem to be better for Washington State against this Husky defense.
From their own 38, Cougs facing a 3rd and 7 here. Leo Pulalasi to the right of Zevi Eckhouse. 4 wide receivers. Snap back to Zevi. Pressure coming. Steps back. Throws it up. And it will be caught. Tony Freeman hauls it into Husky territory at the 45-yard line on 3rd and 7. The Cougs make it happen on a 22-yard reception.
Yeah, Cougs attacking safety Alex McLaughlin for the Washington Huskies, and that's what I'm talking about. Tony Freeman in the slot, man coverage, have to find a way to beat that pressure. Zevi Eckhouse just gives his receiver a chance. Freeman rewards him by making a play.
Freeman's best game last year, his first season as a Coug, was against the Huskies in the Apple Cup. 2 catches, 46 yards, and had a big 33-yard punt return. The drive continues. 1st and 10 to the Husky 45. Play action, looking for a shot. He puts it up, and he's got Ellison, who makes the catch. Oh, he dropped it right in the basket. Ellison hauls it in down to the 19-yard line. 26-yard reception. Ellison in his Coug debut. The talented wide receiver who missed the first 3 games hurt gets the Cougs in the Rose Hours red zone.
Great touch from Zevi Eckhouse. I don't think that's the way that route was supposed to play out. Ellison kind of gets jammed at the line of scrimmage, but he ends up open behind the defender, and Eckhouse just puts a nice touch ball over the top, and we see those hands from number 6, Devin Ellison, right there, hauling it in on the sideline.
The word from offensive coordinator Danny Freund about Eckhouse becoming the starting quarterback this week. He brings the juice, and we're seeing the juice out there from Zevi. Cougs 7 minutes to play first half, and Washington State forced to burn another timeout. Second time they have had to use one here in the first half. It stops the clock with 7:01 to go. Cougs down 21-7 to the Huskies, but Washington State in the Rose Hours red zone. 1st and 10 from the Husky 19. Timeout on the field. We'll take a break ourselves. More from Giesa Field after this. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Boeing is excited to celebrate with the fans and the community at the Boeing Apple Cup game. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of this classic rivalry. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, we're proud to bring Washington together to cheer on these 2 teams and celebrate this great tradition. Boeing is honored to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup and support our communities across Washington.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
With the WSU debit card from Giesa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giesa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCAA.
Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Well, as WSU and UW face off, Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. And here we are for the Boeing Apple Cup, a gorgeous, picture-perfect day here on the Palouse. The Apple Cup is back in Pullman. Cougs have trailed by 14 twice in this game. This is the second time a Washington State, led by Zevi Eckhouse, now in the red zone. Washington 21, Washington State 7. First and 10 for the Cougs. 7:01 to play, first half. Washington State looking to strike and to find the end zone again. Leo Pulalasi in the game to the left of Zevi Eckhouse. Josh Meredith in the slot to the left. Jeremiah Noga split out wide. Here's the snap, design run for Zevi Eckhouse. Eckhouse plows forward maybe a yard, potentially 2, but not a ton there. Tackle by Zach Durfee for the Huskies.
Yeah, again, I think, for the Huskies, defensive coordinator Ryan Walters, his answer after that first drive or two where Zevi Eckhouse was using his legs a little bit and creating that extra gap that they didn't have, he said, you know what, I'm just going to put 7 or 8 guys in the box, make Washington State beat me in the pass game against man coverage. We've seen a little bit of that from Washington State, but we've also seen the running game, right, kind of wind back for Washington State, not able to get as many yards because there's just way more guys in the box.
Newcomer Devin Ellison, his first game as a Coug after missing the first 3 games hurt. Top receiver, 2 catches, 44 yards. Leo Pulalasi to the right of Eckhouse, 2nd and 9 from the Washington 18. Play breaks down, Zevi takes off, and he will be hit hard. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like a loss of 1. It will set up 3rd and 10. Former Coug Buda Al-Ukta drops his former teammate Zevi Eckhouse. Looking downfield, and Alex, nothing really developed, or he didn't have time to heave it up.
Yeah, they're trying to set up a little double pass, or not a double pass, but a kind of fake screen and go. So they fake the run, fake the screen, trying to hit the ball up the sideline. Well defended by the Washington Huskies. Nothing left for Zevi Eckhouse, tried to create with his feet.
3rd and 10 for the Cougs at the Washington 19 in the red zone, trailing by 14, looking for a touchdown here. 7 on the play clock. Pulalasi to his right, out of the shotgun, snap back, rolls out to his right, looking towards the end zone, finds Meredith, turns around, can't make the catch. A little contact, but no flag thrown. And Meredith, just trying to twirl his body around, could not quite get his hands to where the ball was.
Yeah, and that was a good ball by Zevi Eckhouse. Sprint out, wheel route from Josh Meredith. I think Meredith, as a veteran receiver, he's got to expect that ball's going to be there the way the defender played and get 2 hands on and make a play.
Here comes Jack Stevens. This will go down as a 37-yard attempt. Stevens, so far in his Cougar career, 5 for 5 on field goals. Cougs down 21-7. Here's the snap, the hold down from Ryan Harris. The kick is up, it is clean, and it is good. Jack Stevens remains perfect. It is a 37-yard field goal. The Cougs got to the red zone, ultimately denied hitting pay dirt, but still walking away with points after the 37-yard Jack Stevens field goal. 5:21 to play, first half here at Giesa Field. It is the Apple Cup. Washington up on Washington State, 21-10. More after this break. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
You can listen to every Cougar football game and coaches show for free on the WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Download the WSU Cougars Game Day app today. With Jessamine McIntyre down on the field, up in the booth, Chris King next to Alex Brink. It is the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Washington a 21-10 lead on Washington State. Cougs just getting what went down as a 36-yard field goal from Jack Stevens. 8-play, 56-yard drive. Took 4:41 off the clock for the Cougs. Big story in this game, Alex, is we've seen Washington State be able to get points. The offense has been able to move the ball. So far, it's the defense's inability to slow down DeMond Williams Jr. and the Husky offense.
Yeah, and they've had opportunities, right? They've made some plays or had chances at it. They have to finish. I know for a fact, Jimmy Rogers, that's what he would tell you, is they have to finish plays and finish drives.
It is a touchback from Ryan Harris, and now the Cougar defense will get another opportunity to slow down the Huskies. So the Cougs, one time there was the interception, so it's +1 in the turnover category in favor of the Huskies. They got good field position. It was at the 48-yard line in their own territory, and they got a touchdown there. But DeMond Williams Jr. has been outstanding. The quarterback, 7 of 8 passing, 127 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, but 4 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown with his legs. Jonah Coleman, 5 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. Can the Coug defense stiffen up here? Under center, DeMond Williams Jr. takes the snap, play fake, sets his feet, plenty of time. Now he'll take off and tries to run, but he's tackled and sacked from behind. The Cougs get their second sack of the game for Washington State. It is Isaac Terrell who had that big safety in the last home game against San Diego State. He now has 2.5 sacks this year. A major loss that will go down as a loss of 6.
What a great pass rush by Terrell. It wasn't that it was a great move. It was that he kept moving and he kept going. Coug defensive backfield did an awesome job on the back end and allowed Terrell the time to get there on that coverage sack.
Back at their own 19, 2nd and 16. The snap. DeMond Williams Jr. fakes it, keeps it for himself. Plenty of room. He's got the first down and more. Going past Cougs, finally tackled from behind. It's big Mike Sanjo, the defensive tackle at 290 pounds, who had to chase him down. But DeMond Williams Jr. gets loose again, and he makes the Cougs pay.
Yeah, his ability, he basically turns into a running back when he gets into the secondary. He has that ability to put his foot in the ground on a one-cut full speed, just like Jonah Coleman or just like any other running back. And Washington State's got to get there and gang tackle. They're missing open field tackles on DeMond Williams.
He gets 26 yards. Huskies with it at their own 45. 4-minute mark in the first half. Cougs down by 11. Here's a handoff. Blown up in the backfield. Adam Muhammad, the ball carrier. And for the Cougs, big Max Balloon with the tackle for a loss. Balloon, 5th-year senior from Redfield, South Dakota, coming over with the staff from South Dakota State. And we do have a Washington State player down right now, and that might be Max Balloon himself, who is slow to get up and being tended to by the training staff. It is Max Balloon. So that will stop the clock with 3:45 to play in the first half. Huskies have all 3 timeouts. Cougs had to burn 2. They only have 1 timeout. Huskies 21.
Timeout on the field.
Washington State 10. We'll keep things right here, and we've had Jess on the sideline paint the picture a little bit. Alex, we're up in the booth. This is a different view for an Apple Cup, but it is gorgeous here today. It is packed to the brim here at Giesa Field. This is and has been an electric atmosphere.
It's as good a game day experience as I've seen in a long time. I think maybe back to Texas Tech last year, but even before that, Wisconsin the year before that, and the Washington State fans have really come out in a big way.
Max Balloon up, and he is walking off a little gingerly. Jess, we've got the view up here. You're not only closer to the action, you can feel it. You're right there with your finger on the pulse. What's this crowd like?
Yeah, there is something about football crowds that you can actually palpably feel the energy. You can feel the buzz. You can feel the vibe. And they have been awesome this entire time. I haven't, in the first couple of weeks over here at Martin Stadium, I didn't feel it like I do today. And so they came here for it, and the stripes all filled in here, the crimson and white stripes around the stadium. They call it a stripe out. People did well. People did pretty well. So it looks awesome and it feels great.
This is about the fourth time the Washington State defense has had Washington in a 2nd and long, and all of them Washington's been able to convert again or get close to a first down. The Washington State defense has to make a change on these 2nd and longs, force a 3rd and long here for the Huskies.
And the crowd very much getting into it, coming off of the injury, waiting for action to pick back up. It was a tackle for a loss. 2nd and 12, Huskies with it at their own 43. Huskies had a touchdown on every single drive they had in their last game against UC Davis. All 3 drives today, they've had a touchdown. Can the Cougar defense get them off the field? Here's the snap back to DeMond Williams Jr. Pressure coming, gets happy feet, rolls out to his right, being chased down from behind by Darian Dalton, and he's knocked down. Big hit for the Cougs. And coming in, it looked like Michael Hughes helping to make that last real kind of thump on him, where there was a host of anthracite jerseys and crimson helmets swarming all around him.
I'll tell you what, the Cougar secondary is playing fantastic. I mean, that is the 5th or 6th coverage sack or coverage pressure that has been forced by that secondary. DeMond Williams cannot see down the field an open receiver. Great pursuit right there by Anthony Polano to force DeMond Williams back inside, and then, like you said, the big hit by Hughes.
It's 3rd and 11 for the Huskies from their own 44. Cougs down by 11. Snap back. They're 3 of 3 on 3rd down today. Williams has a man, puts it up, and it's going to be caught for the first down. Reception made by Denzel Boston, the veteran wide receiver who had the first touchdown of the day on 3rd and 11, comes through with an 18-yard reception, and the Huskies respond once more on offense. They're now 4 of 4 on 3rd down. This Cougar defense just can't get off the field.
Yeah, we talked about how good the Huskies were on 3rd down coming into the games, over 70%.
Tempo here from the Huskies, and let's see, the play blown dead, and the Cougs forced to use their last timeout.
Charge timeout, Washington State.
Oh, that is
a 30-second
tough
timeout.
Turn of events for the Cougs. The fact that the Huskies can convert on 3rd and 11, and now they're pretty much in field goal range or awfully close to it. You have to use your last timeout, and now you're more concerned about trying to prevent the Huskies from getting any more points than you are of, hey, let's get the ball back and let's try to get some more points. Cougs will get the ball to begin the second half. Let's head down the sideline now. Jess, you got an update?
Yes, Max Bloom was taken into the injury tent, and Dr. Tingstad, the team doctor, did check him out, and he is currently being escorted to the locker room, so not exactly what you'd want to see right now. Hopefully he'll be back in the second half, and I'll give you an update on the other side of halftime.
Well, thank you, Jess. That's tough for the Cougs. Max Balloon has been a valuable member of that defensive line rotation, specifically on the interior line for Washington State. By more snaps for Sony Finau as he is there out on the field right now, out of the timeout. 1st and 10 for the Washington State 38. 2:27 to play first half. Huskies with the ball up 21-10. Handoff to Jonah Coleman trying to go east to west. Cougs can't take him down originally, and finally the 4th Washington State defender to get their paws on him, bring him to the turf. But yards after contact, more and more for Jonah Coleman. He's down to the 32, tackled by Buda Paletti. 6 yards there. More tempo from the Huskies as we're nearing the 2-minute mark of the first half. Here's the snap. Williams with some time over the middle, throws a bullet, open target, and the pass is caught enough for the first down. Audric Harris, sophomore, who has just 1 catch this year, his 2nd of the season, puts it right at the 25-yard line, right between
This is the 2-minute timeout for the first half. Please reset the clock to 1 minute, 59 seconds. 1:59, please. Thank you.
So right in the middle of the Pac-12 Shield logo and the Boeing Apple Cup logo. So Huskies 1:59 to play here in this first half, 21-10. Huskies up on the Cougs. Get folks up to speed on how we got to this point. Huskies got the ball. Opening drive of the game, marched down the field. Denzel Boston, 29-yard touchdown catch. Cougs' first drive got into Husky territory, but hit as he was thrown. Xavier Eckhouse to an interception to Alex McLaughlin. Gave the Huskies the ball near midfield, and shortly thereafter, DeMond Williams Jr., the quarterback, had a 23-yard touchdown run, made it 14-0. But the Cougs put together an 11-play, 75-yard drive, 6:42 ticked off the clock, and Bo Baker's first career catch was a touchdown for the Cougar tight end, 14-7. But the Huskies They have just been able to move the ball, convert on third down. It was a 12-yard Jonah Coleman touchdown run, made it 21-7. Cougs got it in the red zone, but ultimately couldn't punch it in, had to settle for a field goal attempt, and Jack Stevens delivered. He's now 6 of 6 this year. The Cougar kicker made a 36-yarder, and it's 21-10. But there was that 3rd and 11 on this drive, Alex. That was so close the Cougar defense could taste it to get the Huskies off the field.
Yeah, and just, again, it's these opportunities. I mean, Washington State in the first half, they're going to look back and multiple 2nd and longs that got converted. That 3rd and 11, a 3rd and 6. I mean, they've had their chances of, a big play from DeMond Williams escaping a sure sack. And again, I think this Cougar defense, they are a step away from really containing this Husky offense much, much better than they've shown so far, but they got to make the adjustment, and it starts right now because this drive has to end in 3 or 0, right, for Washington State, because if you go into half, or if they get 7 here, it makes that a much bigger hill to climb for this Cougar team, and I think the defense needs something good to go their way.
Let's pause right now, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network. Fresh set of downs for the Huskies. 1st and 10 at the Cougar 25. DeMond Williams Jr., 9 of 10 passing, 152 yards and a touchdown. And on the ground, he is the leading rusher for the Huskies. 7 carries, 74 yards and a touchdown. DeMond Williams Jr. puts Denzel Boston in motion. Play fake, has some time, looks open man, and overthrows him. So just his 2nd incompletion of the game. Cade Eldridge out of Linden Christian High School. Not a normal target this year, just 1 catch for a yard, but off the mark for Cade Eldridge, and it is an incompletion, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and the Huskies kind of trying to show fly sweep, reverse, play action, kind of basically a trick play. Cougs defended it pretty well. DeMond Williams missed Eldridge down the sideline.
2nd and 10. They keep it on the ground. They go to Jonah Coleman and met and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Washington State's Anthony Polano, who didn't play last week, he is back. It will go down as just a gain of 1, but a great tackle there by the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, Polano's got great feel inside the box. His ability to diagnose the run, but then avoid blocks, get skinny, and get inside, and then finish the tackle against a good back like Jonah Coleman.
Huskies 4 of 4 on 3rd down in this game. Huskies lead the Cougs 21-10. 1:20 and ticking to go first half. 3rd and 9 at the Cougar 24. Pressure coming. Fielded and head drop. DeMond Williams Jr. sacked all the way back at the 33-yard line, and it's Parker McKenna who brings him down.
Chris, I love the adjustment from defensive coordinator Jesse Bobbitt. 3rd and long, he says, I'm not going to let DeMond Williams beat me with my feet in his arm. I'm going to send pressure. He brings an extra guy. Parker McKenna loops around, gets a free rush, and finishes the tackle on Williams.
First sack of the season, only the 4th of the career for Parker McKenna. 5th year college player, 2nd year as the Cougs. Started out at Portland State. He came in like a missile. Here's Grady Gross. It will be a 51-yard attempt. His career long is 47. He made the game-winning field goal 2 years ago in the Apple Cup, and now Jed Fish forced to use a timeout. 30 seconds left to go. 4th and 18 after that sack by Parker McKenna.
Before the ball was snapped, timeout Washington, their first of the half. It will be 30 seconds in length.
Gross this year is now 18 of 18 on point after attempts, but he's only attempted 1 field goal. That is how good the Huskies have been at getting into the end zone. So he made the 42-yard game-winning field goal with no time on the clock to win the game in the 2023 Apple Cup. Inside the locker room after that, it was announced he was going on scholarship. Last year, he had a career-best 4 of 4 in the Apple Cup against the Cougs. Huskies had a lot of field goals as Washington State won 24-19. Cougs will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and Jed Fish just winds that time down, tries to take as much time as possible away from the Cougar offense here at the end of half after this kick.
This would be a career long for Grady Gross, the senior. Here's the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up. He's got the leg, and it is good. Grady Gross continues to have success against Washington State. A new career long for him, a 51-yarder. And the Huskies are up 24-10 on the Cougs. 25 seconds to go in the half. Washington State with no timeouts left. Alex, do you attempt something, or are you just playing with fire knowing that you get the ball to start the second half?
I think what you do, depending on how the kickoff goes, what you try and do is run a play like a screen, or, it could be a run play, but, something semi-conservative, but gives you a chance that if it pops, you can then maybe try and get into field goal range. You don't have any timeouts, so you got to take that into consideration, right? But there's really no reason to press the issue here, knowing you get the ball at a half. And if you really big picture this, you give up 14 points right away to start this half, right, off of a turnover and kind of a big drive. And so I think if you can get into half down 14, you feel like you can recover.
And how much of a victory does that feel like? Because you force them to a field goal attempt, and you get that sack on third down. The first time you've quieted the Huskies on third down. Leighton Smithson back deep, and this will be a touchback. Goes through the back of the end zone. And a little bit of extracurricular on special teams, but everyone pulled apart pretty quickly. For the Cougs, it was true freshman Sullivan Schlimgen, who played a little bit last week, when the Cougs kind of emptied out the bench and had everyone get some time once that game was kind of out of hand. Lights are on, not nearly in effect here. It is a gorgeous mid-September day here on the Palouse. It is packed at Giesa Field, a sold-out crowd for the Boeing Apple Cup. And Washington State, all indications are they will take a knee and take this game to the locker room. 25 seconds to go, no timeouts. The snap, Eckhouse does take the knee. And the Cougs will go to the locker room, getting the ball to start the second half. On two occasions in this game, Washington State has trailed 14-0, or by 14 I should say, 14-0. And then again, when it was 21-7. Just standing by waiting for coaches. We're just having the clock hit triple zeros, and it does. And let's go to Jess, standing by with Coach.
Coach, our first time seeing Zevi Eckhouse start this season, this entire season. What did you find his mastering of the offense?
That is the end of the first half.
Yeah, he's crouching with his feet. He's getting the ball out on time, and he's finding wide receivers. He's doing a really good job right now. We just got to continue to do that.
Your defense really got them behind the sticks in the second quarter there. How do you keep it up in the second half?
I think we need to make plays when it's 2nd and 17, 2nd and 16. We keep letting them off the hook when we get them to those situations. We got to tackle better. We got to know what we're doing better.
Thank you, Coach. All right, there you go. You heard it. Make plays, do better, and 1,000-mile stare from Coach there. He is a man on a mission, and I think that we can gather that second quarter. It was a turning point for them.
Well, and positive words for Zevi Eckhouse as well. Our halftime score here in the Boeing Apple Cup. Washington State trails Washington 24-10. When we come back, we'll be joined by Craig Bombin, Vice President of Flight Operations and Chief Pilot for Boeing. And then Austin Samuels will have our full halftime report. More from Pullman after this break. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is a high-tech global company headquartered in Pullman, Washington, with a mission of making electric power safer, more reliable, and more economical. At SEL, employees enjoy working in a fast-paced, innovative environment while enjoying the many benefits of living on the Palouse. SEL is seeking engineers for paid internships and full-time positions. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
Winning a new GMC Canyon at Northern Quest is not without its drawbacks, like jealous neighbors, unsolicited questions about towing capacity, and sudden requests to help move a couch really quick. But something tells us you'll get over it. It's Northern Quest's $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. Play daily for your shot at a new GMC Canyon or $45,000 in cash. The Grander Canyon giveaway, only at Northern Quest.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Boeing is excited to celebrate with the fans and the community at the Boeing Apple Cup game. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of this classic rivalry. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars We're proud to bring Washington together to cheer on these two teams and celebrate this great tradition. Boeing is honored to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup and support our communities across Washington.
30 minutes are in the books. Coming up, a first half recap, a look at the stats, plus scores from across college football. Now, it's time for the halftime report on the Cougars Sports Network.
Well, as WSU and UW face off, Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. It is halftime here at Giesa Field. WSU down to UW 24-10. We're so excited to be joined now by Craig Bombin, Vice President of Flight Operations and Chief Pilot for Boeing. Great to have you here. So,
thanks, Chris.
Historically, Craig, we get a chance to talk in November at the Boeing Apple Cup. This is the second year. We're getting after it much earlier. What's the schedule shift like for you, both as a Coug alum and a member of Team Boeing?
Yeah, not going to lie. I find it a little different that it's not November. It kind of seems like, Thanksgiving and the Apple Cup go together, but I'm not going to tell you I dislike it. I like being warm.
I've
been out here freezing.
Well, we look out, and it is just a picture-perfect day.
Unbelievably beautiful day.
Here on the Palouse. Well, as a long-standing sponsor of the Boeing Apple Cup, can you share why Boeing continues to support this in-state rivalry?
Yeah, we got a lot of employees from both the schools, and Washington State houses the largest majority of Boeing employees. And so this is just a really important event to all of our employees, especially the ones that went to the two schools. So we just want to get back to the community, make sure that we take care of our employees, we take care of the schools that provide us outstanding employees that we have. So it's a way to give back.
Well, you mentioned the thousands of Cougs and Huskies that go on to work for Boeing.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's the case?
Well, you know what? Because we do cool stuff. You got to look. Think about it. You can go write an app for somebody, or you can come to Boeing and work on spaceships, something that's going to go to Mars, an airplane, all sorts of underwater vehicles. We do everything. And we change the world every day, and people want to be a part of that. So they come work for us because they want to be part of something that's changing the world.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, our score right now, 24-10, Cougs trail, but the Cougs get the ball to start the second half. What are your predictions for the second half here in the Boeing Apple Cup?
I tell you what, I think they're getting some momentum. Eckhouse looks good. He's throwing the ball well. I think we're going to come back. I think right now we got him right where we want him, overconfident.
You are looking good in your Cougar polo, Craig. Thanks so much for the time. Great to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, our score here at halftime, WSU trailing Washington 24-10. We will take a timeout. When we come back, it's time for our halftime report. Austin Samuels standing by. A first half recap, a look at the numbers, and a few scores sprinkled in as well. More after the break. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural.
Exciting.
Ooh, it's $8,000.
Oh.
I don't know, we're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Giesa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Giesa.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
halftime report. The Washington Huskies leading 24-10 against Washington State. The Cougs here in the 117th meeting of the Boeing Apple Cup. Austin Samuels with you here at Giesa Field up here in the booth. Let's recap that first half here in Pullman. UW took the opening kickoff and they drove it down the field. They scored with 10:53 to go in the first quarter. A successful drive for the Huskies. DeMond Williams Jr. He finds Denzel Boston in the left corner of the end zone from 29 yards out. That got the Huskies on the scoreboard first. The extra point was good. It capped off a 9-play, 75-yard touchdown drive that took 4 minutes and 7 seconds. The Huskies led 7-0. The Huskies would capitalize off of a turnover of Zeki Eckhouse, picking up just his second career start for Washington State through an interception to Alex McLaughlin for the Huskies, and they capitalized on a short field starting at the 47 of the University of Washington, and DeMond Williams Jr. ran down the right side, cashing in a 23-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good. That made it 14-0 Huskies. That was with a 5-play drive, 53 yards, and 2:18 off the clock. That was with 3:47 to go in the first quarter. That was where the score would stand at the end of one, but Washington State would battle back on their first drive of the second quarter. They strike with 12:05 to go in the first half. A play-action pass, Zebby Eckhouse to Bo Baker for a 12-yard touchdown. Here's how it sounded in the booth from Chris King.
Ademola Filet in at tight end along with Bo Baker. Kirby Voorhees, the running back for Washington State. Tight formation. To the right is Jeremiah Noga. Lane Smithson, the other wide receiver. Play action. Open. Wide open. Making the catch. It's Bo Baker. Touchdown, Washington State. Bo Baker comes through. The first catch of his college career is a touchdown here in the Apple Cup. 14-6. Cougs get their first points.
The Cougs would tack on the extra point as well from Jack Stevenson. They trailed 14-7. That was an 11-play drive, 75 yards. It took 6 minutes and 42 seconds. The Cougs trailing by 7, but not for long. Washington punched back immediately with 10:02 to go in the second quarter. A physical touchdown run from Jonah Coleman. He scores from 12 yards out, broke a couple of tackles, and that built out the lead even farther. PAT was good. It made it 21-7. The Huskies led Washington State. A 4-play, 75-yard touchdown drive that took just 2 minutes and 3 seconds. Washington State would get on the scoreboard one more time in the first half. However, with 5:21 to go in the second quarter, a long sustained drive for Washington State yielded a 36-yard field goal from Jack Stevens. That was an 8-play, 56-yard drive that took 4:41. The Cougs trailed 21-10. They trailed by 11, but the Huskies scored one more time in that first half. A field goal before the break with 25 seconds left in the second quarter. Grady Gross connected from 51 yards out. 11-play, 42-yard field goal drive took 3:56 off the clock. The Huskies 4 drives and 4 scores in that first half. They lead at 24-10 over Washington State in the 117th meeting of the Boeing Apple Cup. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll break down the most important stats here from the first half and take a look at a couple of scores of note in college football. 24-10 is the halftime score. Washington leads the Cougs here in Pullman. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hampton in Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Barn Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do lists one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
We welcome you back to the Cougar Halftime Report. 24-10, the Washington Huskies lead it over the Cougs here in Pullman, Giesa Field. Austin Samuels with you on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Pullman. Again, 24-10 is the halftime score. Taking a look at some of the most important stats here from the first half. A solid first half offensively for the Huskies. Again, 4 drives and 4 scoring drives for UW. 245 yards of total offense, 152 through the air, and 93 yards on the ground. The big important stat for the Huskies offense, 4 for 5 on third downs. They converted a couple of big ones, especially in that second quarter. Meanwhile, for Washington State, 142 yards of total offense for the Cougs at the break. 111 came through the air and just 31 rush yards on the ground. The Cougs also effective on third down, 4 for 6, converting and moving the chains. Looking at individual stat leaders for both teams, Zevi Eckhouse in his first start of the year, second as a Coug, has looked pretty good so far. 11 for 14 passing, 111 yards, a touchdown, and an interception towards the end of the first quarter. Eckhouse also leads the Cougs in rushing at the halftime break, 6 carries and 15 yards. Devin Ellison leads the Cougs with 2 receptions for 44 yards. And Bo Baker, his first ever career catch, goes for a touchdown, 1 for 12 and a score. Meanwhile, for Washington, Damon Williams Jr. was terrific in that first half, 9 for 11 throwing the football, 152 through the air and a score. He also led this team in rushing at the break, 8 carries, 65 yards, and that 26-yard touchdown run. So he has 1 through the air and 1 on the ground. Meanwhile, leading the Huskies in receiving, it's Denzel Boston. The junior has 3 catches, 72 yards, and that score through the air. A couple of quick scores to pass along to you. Civil war was today between Oregon State. The Beavers looking for their first win against the number 6 ranked Oregon Ducks, who are 3-0. And boy, it was all Ducks today. 41-7 in Eugene. They outgained the Beavs 585 to 147 in terms of total offense. The Ducks came into the day with the 3rd best offense in college football, averaging over 54 points per game. They've now won 9 straight in Eugene. The Cougs will play the Beavs twice this year, November 1st in Corvallis and November 29th in Pullman. Another score of note, the Idaho Vandals nearly pulled off an FCS over FBS upset today. They nearly knocked off the San Jose State Spartans. They fell 31-28. The Spartans went on a last-second field goal, so the Vandals fall to 2-2. They will start their Big Sky Conference schedule next week at the University of Montana for the Battle of the Little Brown Stein. Again, the halftime score here in Pullman, 24-10. The Washington Huskies on top of the Cougs. Austin Samuels with you here at Giesa Field in Pullman. When we return, we will send it back to the booth. Chris, Brink, and Jess will take it away for the second half. 24-10. The Cougs trail the Washington Huskies. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Boeing is excited to celebrate with the fans and the community at the Boeing Apple Cup game. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of this classic rivalry. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, we're proud to bring Washington together to cheer on these two teams and celebrate this great tradition. Boeing is honored to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup and support our communities across Washington.
A mission that matters. A place to grow. Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is an internationally recognized designer and manufacturer of products that protect and control electric power systems worldwide. Employees are problem solvers, inventors, and doers. At SEL, you can support a mission that truly matters and create a career that maximizes your full potential. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
Winning a new GMC Canyon at Northern Quest is not without its drawbacks, like jealous neighbors, unsolicited questions about towing capacity, and sudden requests to help move a couch really quick. But something tells us you'll get over it. It's Northern Quest's $160,000 Grander Canyon giveaway. Play daily for your shot at a new GMC Canyon or $45,000 in cash. The Grander Canyon giveaway, only at Northern Quest.
Back at Giesa Field, we're ready to start the second half here in the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Cougs trail the Huskies 24-10, but Washington State will get the ball to start the second half. And it's time now for Alex Brink's second half keys to the game, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill, celebrate responsibly. Well, Alex, the Cougs are down by 2 scores, but unlike last week, you're down, but boy, there was a lot of positives from the first half, and it feels like there's a good amount that the Cougs can build on.
Yeah, like I said, Cougs are a player or two away. Jimmy Rogers mentioned kind of the opportunities. The defense is really close. I mean, they've gotten Washington in some situations where you would want, right? You'd want them in second and extra long, third and long, and the Huskies have been able to convert. But I saw at the end of that last drive, at the end of half, an adjustment by Jesse Bobbitt to bring pressure, to bring 6 players, create pressure on Damon Williams, led to the Parker McKenna sack instead of playing coverage, and I think that's the adjustment moving forward. So one of my keys, bring pressure on long downs. Don't play it safe. No reason to play it safe. You're down in a rivalry game at home. Go get it. On offense, Devin Ellison, 2 catches, 44 yards. We've seen him downfield a couple times. Tony Freeman had a big catch. Zevi Eckhouse has shown that he can push the ball downfield and challenge this Washington secondary. I'd like to see another shot or two in this third quarter to see if you can get a couple big plays.
Alex, the question going into this game was who was going to start at quarterback for the Cougs. Jimmy Rogers keeping that under wraps until our pregame interview saying, hey, it is Zevi Eckhouse, and pointing out why Zevi got the job. He's earned this true leadership on his part the last week. Maybe didn't play the best through the fall, why Jackson Potter was the starter for those first 3 games, but he's our best leader at the position at the moment. What was your assessment of what we saw from Zevi Eckhouse in the first half?
Yeah, relatively clean, in my opinion. He threw the interception. He was getting hit, and so it's hard to tell how that decision was going to play out, but you saw some instances of him working through his progressions. Also, his ability to manage the offense, right? He's making the easy throws. He's good in the run game. His legs were a difference, but what I really like is that you could see the fire, right? Throws the touchdown, he's looking at the crowd. 3rd and long, big throw to Tony Freeman, gets excited about it, right? Zevi Eckhouse brings an extra bit of energy to this offense that was desperately needed.
And the Cougs will get the ball to start the second half. We are ready to begin the second half. Lights are on, not in full effect. It is getting close to the sun setting, but it is absolutely gorgeous here for the Apple Cup in Pullman. The kickoff will be another touchback. It has been all touchbacks, and the Cougs will get the ball after the touchback. The running game, it's been quiet throughout the year, continues to be really quiet again. Zevi Eckhouse, the leading rusher, 6 carries, 15 yards. He had the longest run, which was 7 yards. Angel Johnson, 5 carries, 11 yards. Kirby Voorhees, 1 carry, 6 yards. We've seen Maxwell Woods and Leo Pulalasi in the pass game a little bit, but on the ground, there just hasn't been much sustained success.
Yeah, again, just more stretching of the field sideline to sideline of the defense, right, so that Washington's not able to load the box.
Angel Johnson in a running back to the left of Eckhouse. 24-10, Cougs trail. First drive of this second half, Washington State with the ball. Snap back to Eckhouse. Cougs put it on the ground. Here's Angel Johnson, who may be able to turn the corner, but he was met up and brought down. The defensive line for Washington right there Linus Davis stops him for only a gain of 2. Johnson been described as electric. He just hasn't had one of those big runs, one of those moments quite yet as a Coug.
Boy, that was so close, too. Left guard Johnny Lester was kind of washing down the D lineman and just stumbled a little bit, which allowed that fallback action, because that was a good cut by Angel Johnson. He was really close to breaking a good one.
2nd and 8 for Washington State. Their own 27, down by 14. Zevi Eckhouse, first start of the season as a Coug. Jeremiah Noga in motion, pressure coming. Eckhouse gets rid of it over the middle, finds Jeremiah Noga, first down and a little bit more as he was upended. Big tackle by Ephesians Prysock, almost like you'd see it on a wrestling mat, drilled right into the turf. Some extra talking after, but Noga, the Oregon State transfer, no stranger to play in the Huskies, gets the first down. Cougs get a pickup of 16, and the chains move.
Yeah, Noga motion down, runs a big crossing route, and Washington brought pressure. They brought extra guys. Zevi Eckhouse stood in there, took a hit, and delivered a ball across the middle to Jeremiah Noga for a good first down.
Cougs now at the 43-yard line. Snap back to Eckhouse. Little pitch over to Angel Johnson, looking for a crease, and it closed up quickly. Again, the Cougs haven't been a lot of negative plays on the ground. There just hasn't been a lot of big runs. That will be another gain of 2 by Angel Johnson on that first down carry.
Yeah, and although it was a short gain there, I do like that from, as a play call to get Angel Johnson more outside than in the box. Just a little short-sided toss into the boundary, and a little better block on the outside by the receiver, and you get Angel Johnson more one-on-one instead of 2-on-1.
Maxwell Woods in the game at running back. He has been a factor as a threat catching the ball. Empty set now. Cougs 2nd and 8. Snap back to Eckhouse, feeling the pressure near the sticks. Finds his tight end, Trey Lechner. That extra move gets him the first down into Washington territory, and a flag gets thrown late here and right back where Zevi Eckhouse was. And
it's going to be a late hit. He came in and got Zevi up high.
Zach Durfee appears to be
roughing the passer. Defense number 11. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
So it actually will go against Tai Uiagalelei. And the Cougs won't argue with that. So not only is Washington State being able to move the ball in this drive, that penalty.
Correction.
With the ball.
The penalty being enforced from the end of the run. First down.
So that is really nice. Is the Cougs had the ball in Husky territory, and that is going to be marched all the way inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Opening drive of the second half here at Giesa Field. It is the Apple Cup. Washington State trailing Washington 24-10. But the Cougs have been able to get the ball, and here they are knocking on the door of the red zone. Devin Ellison in the game, leading receiver so far, out all alone to his left. Kirby Voorhees shifts, play action, Eckhouse pressure in his face, flushed out, throws over to Maxwell Woods, extra move, and swallowed up from behind. Samote Peppa at 350 pounds engulfed Woods, but at least he pushed him forward for an extra yard or two, down to the 22-yard line. So a healthy first down pickup of 6.
Yeah, just craftiness from Zevi Eckhouse to avoid the pass rush. I mean, I think it was A.J. Vaiapulu got beat on the right-hand side, and Eckhouse able to slide through and find Maxwell Woods on the check down, avoiding negative plays. That's the key on first down.
Under 12 minutes to go, third quarter. Cougs first drive of the second half, down by 14. Here they have it 2nd and 4 at the Husky 22-yard line. Voorhees to the right of Eckhouse. Snap back, gets rid of it quick. Finds Leon Neal Jr. as the ball knocked loose at the end, but he was down by contact. He makes it to the 10. Has to be special for Leon Neal Jr. 5 catches in his college career. The 5th-year senior as a Coug. His dad, Leon Neal Sr., was a running back at the University of Washington from 1991 to 1996. Here it is, 1st and goal from the 10. Cougs in the Rose Hours red zone. Eckhouse keeps it for himself and goes on a merry-go-round ride, but it brings him forward at least for 2 yards, making it 2nd and goal from the 8.
And just the threat of that, right? Defensive end crashes down hard on the zone. Zevi pulls it, able to make a cut to, again, avoid a negative play on first down. But just that little action right there is going to start holding the linebackers. They're going to have to honor that play of a quarterback potentially running.
Cougs in the Rose Hours red zone. Bo Baker, who has the lone touchdown catch of this game for the Cougs, back in there. 2 tight ends, him and both Adamola Filet to the right. Voorhees, the running back. Eckhouse, looks like pressure's coming. Here's the snap, gets rid of it quick, has Ellison, makes the catch! Eckhouse to Ellison. Touchdown, Washington State. The Cougs respond on the opening drive of the second half. March 75 yards down the field. Point after pending. Washington State down 24-16. Alex's squad was down by 14 twice in the first half, but the Cougs have been resilient, and boy, do they come out and really answer the call here to begin the second half.
Danny Freund told me Devin Ellison has to be on the field if this offense is going to keep being successful. He's an elite talent at wide receiver. You see it right there, just a quick slant route, and Zevi Eckhouse delivers a ball into the blitz. Ellison goes down and gets it. What a response from Washington State to open the second half.
10:39 to go, third quarter. I think back to the only other start for Zevi Eckhouse in his Cougar career, and Kyle Williams was the guy he leaned on, who ended up breaking a Holiday Bowl record for most receiving yards. Jack Stevens on for the point after attempt, and Devin Ellison feeding off the crowd here. Here's the point after attempt. It is up, and it is good. Cougs within a touchdown, 24-17. How about that for Washington State? 8 plays, 75 yards, 4:21 came off the clock. Capped off, Zevi Eckhouse finding Devin Ellison for an 8-yard touchdown reception. Ellison did not play the first 3 games with a heel injury. He's been the top target for the Cougs so far in this game. 3 catches, 52 yards, and that touchdown. We more than have a ball game on our hands here. It is the Apple Cup. And here we are, the warmest Apple Cup in 117 meetings of this rivalry. Washington 24, Washington State 17, 10:39 to play, third quarter. More from Giesa Field and Pullman after this. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud.
It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Giesa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Giesa Credit Union. Giesa is an equal opportunity lender.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State. Partners in excellence.
Back at Giesa Field as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Cougs pulling within 7, 24-17. Washington State, a touchdown drive to begin the second half. Before kickoff, let's head down to the sideline. Jess, I know you got an injury update, and things were popping here at Giesa Field after that touchdown.
They certainly are, and unfortunately not great news for Max Balloon, because he came out of the locker room at halftime on crutches with his left knee wrapped in ice. So not looking very good. Obviously, he's not going to be available for the second half. And let's get to the good stuff. We've got Glizzy gliders coming down on parachutes, and those are basically hot dogs coming down to the stands all the way from the top deck, actually right by where you guys are.
I saw them.
It is absolutely wonderful.
Onside kick, onside kick. Cougs unable to recover, and Washington picks it up. They'll have great field position. Washington State attempting an onside kick, and the Cougs did seem to catch Washington off guard, but no one there for the Cougs to recover, and it's Desmond Roebuck who grabs it, and he went off too. So Jimmy Rogers not playing it safe after that touchdown drive, and the Cougs hoping to steal a possession back, but Washington recovers the onside kick, and with the recovery as well, it's going to give Washington the ball at the Cougar 35.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing the body language from Jimmy Rogers on the sideline talking to Ryan Harris, and Rogers didn't look happy about either the execution or the decision. I wonder if there was kind of an option on when to kick that.
Cougs have a hard time slowing down the Husky offense. Here's a handoff. Jonah Coleman goes up, still going, and finally brought down by the safety Tucker Large. But Coleman, as good as the Husky offense was in the first half, he's relatively quiet by his standards. 8 carries, 27 yards. He rips off a 13-yarder there. And you blink, the Cougs pull within a touchdown, but now the Huskies are an eyelash away from being in the red zone.
Yeah, it just puts that defense in a tough spot. Again, another short field against a good offense.
1st and 10 at the Cougar 22-yard line. Third quarter, 10 minutes to go. Damon Williams Jr. takes the snap right back to Coleman. They feed him. Coleman, stiff arm, still going. Another stiff arm to the 10, and he'll be shoved out of bounds again by Tucker Large. But that's not where the Cougs want to be with having Tucker Large trying to bring down big Jonah Coleman. When he gets going downhill, it's like a runaway train.
Yeah, and as good as the Cougs were in the first half of getting Coleman to kind of chop his feet behind the line of scrimmage, make contact behind the line of scrimmage, that's 2 runs right there where Coleman just had a free run into the second level.
Picks up 11, and it is 1st and goal from the 10. Cougs were able to force a field goal attempt on the last drive before the end of the first half for the Huskies. Adam Muhammad now in the game, the understudy, but very talented for Jonah Coleman. Snap, they keep it on the ground. It goes to Muhammad, and he's breaking tackles down to the 6. Cougs touched him in the backfield, but Muhammad kind of got low and able to work his way all the way down to the 6-yard line. 2nd and goal from the 6. And without Max Balloon, the Cougs don't necessarily have the beef to match UW on the offensive line. Do you think they just keep it on the ground here, Alex?
Well, I mean, I think Jed Fish is always going to be kind of a run-first play caller until he gets you into situations like these 2nd and medium, 2nd and short, and then the playbook really opens up.
2nd and goal from the 6. Snap back to Williams. He's looking to throw. Pressure coming, has time. Dancing around in the backfield. Looked like there might have been a hold, but no flag as he cuts to the inside and brought down at the 2. Damon Williams Jr. down to the 2. He has been so dangerous with his legs in this game. 9 carries, close to 70 yards now, and a touchdown for the Husky quarterback. And we have another Cougar down.
Timeout on the field for a defensive injury.
Caden Beatty slow to get up, so that's tough for the Cougs. Max Balloon, defensive tackle. Jess gave us that injury update, and not returning in this game for Max Balloon, coming out on crutches. And now Caden Beatty, the defensive tackle, a transfer from Kent State, was actually a captain at Kent State as a redshirt freshman, being tended to by the training staff. 8:44 to play, third quarter. Cougs within 7 here in the Apple Cup, but after attempting an onside kick, Washington getting good field position once they recovered it, and here they have it 3rd and goal from the Cougar 2. We'll take a break. More after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Schweitzer Engineering Laboratories is a high-tech global company headquartered in Pullman, Washington, with a mission of making electric power safer, more reliable, and more economical. At SEL, employees enjoy working in a fast-paced, innovative environment while enjoying the many benefits of living on the Palouse. SEL is seeking engineers for paid internships and full-time positions. Apply to join the growing SEL team today at selinc.com/careers.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride, and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So, does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Back at Giza Field, 3rd and goal from the 2 for the Huskies. 8:44 to play, third quarter. It is the Boeing Apple Cup. Washington State down by 14 multiple times in this game. First drive of the second half, marched down the field, getting a touchdown. So only trailing by 7, but here the Huskies are. 3rd and goal from the 2. Damon Williams Jr. under center. Jordan Washington, the running back, Here's the snap. A little misdirection goes to Jonah Coleman. He's going to go untouched into the end zone. Coleman strikes again, and after the unsuccessful onside kick attempt, after the Cougs got the touchdown drive, the Huskies use that short field to their advantage. And this Washington offense, Alex, has been clicking. It's now 30-7 after the Jonah Coleman touchdown run, point after pending.
Yeah, but again, you've given them short fields or good field position relatively for most of the game, or for a couple of those drives. So I think it's been very efficient, good play call there. They put Jonah Coleman kind of in the slot bunch, handed off on an inside fly sweep, and Cougs really didn't see it coming.
Grady Gross onside, I should say point after attempt for the Husky kicker, and he makes it. This Husky offense has hummed this year. Coming into this game, they've played 2 games and they've scored over 100 points. 5 drives for the Huskies today and 5 scores. The real victory, it felt like, for the Cougar defense was holding the Huskies to a 51-yard field goal attempt, but Grady Gross was able to hit that. Time out on the field. We'll step aside for a moment ourselves. Here in the Boeing Apple Cup, our score, it's now Washington 31, Washington State 17, 8:16 to play, third quarter. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
17, the Cougs trail the Huskies here in the Boeing Apple Cup. It's WSU and UW face-off. Boeing proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Third quarter, 8:16 to go. We have an injury update. Let's head down to the sidelines with Jess.
Yeah, Ryan Stevenson was actually the one who went into the injury tent following that play. I know that was a bang-bang play, and a couple of guys might have been a little beat up. The good news is, though, that he has exited, and he's completely fine. All smiles. Doctor did not feel as though he needed to have his helmet taken away, which is the telltale sign of you're not going back in quite yet, but he is good to go.
Huskies getting a 5-play, 35-yard touchdown drive. Jonah Coleman 2-yard touchdown run after the Cougs attempted an onside kick that the Huskies had no problems with. Ethan Machowski with the kickoff. Everything has been touchbacks outside of the point or the onside kick attempt. So 31-17 our score for those just joining us. 3 times in this game, the Huskies have led by as many as 14. Alex, the Cougar offense gets pretty decent marks, I would say, to this point on their ability to move the ball. The defense has struggled, and though there have been times they've had to deal with tough field position. But what has been your overall take on what we've seen from the offense to this point?
I think it's been a really good game plan that's been executed for the most part pretty well, right? And a lot of that goes back to Zevi Eckhouse and his ability. Coach Freund told me Zevi's really smart, understands the playbook very well. I think we see a lot of that. Also, his ability to throw the football and kind of find receivers downfield has been really effective.
Eckhouse 16 of 19 passing, 177 yards. He takes the snap, gets rid of it quick, finds Landon Wright, talented redshirt freshman. Took a step backwards. Let's see where this ultimately gets marked down. Wright will be credited for a gain of 4.
Yeah, just quick hitch to the wide side of the field, taking an easy throw out to Landon Wright. Again, that's that idea that I keep talking about of trying to get the ball outside the hash marks, outside the numbers, spread this defense out, and then you got the ability to get them off balance in the running game.
Cougs trail by 14. Washington State with the ball, though. 7:40 and ticking to play third quarter here on this gorgeous, afternoon and now into evening. at Giesa Field. Palouse showing off. Play action. Eckhouse rolls out to his left, looking for someone. Will heave it up in the air. A deep shot, a lot of contact. And Josh Meredith makes the catch. Right of the Boeing Apple Cup logo. Meredith, the veteran Coug, hauls in the deep shot. The Cougs hit on their most explosive play of the season. And Washington State, behind Zevi Eckhouse, keeps humming on offense. 48 yards.
Boy, what a throw from Zevi Eckhouse. Play action pass. He boots out, moving to his left. Has to throw against his body to a deep post route to the backside from Josh Meredith. And Meredith's got to fight through contact. I thought for sure it was going to be a flag. Either way, Meredith fights through it and is able to make a play over the top.
1st and 10 at the Husky 23. Cougs down by 14, but the offense in a good spot here. Snap back. Eckhouse rolls out to his right. Looking. He'll dump it off instead. He finds his tight end Adamola Filet, and Filet not quite to the first down marker, but down to the 15. A gain of 8 there. Looked like Zevi could have maybe gone running, used his legs, but still a good decision, a solid pickup on first down.
But it's the threat of him running that holds the defense kind of inside so he can flip it back out to Filet. I also got to shout out the offensive line for Washington State right now in the pass game is doing a really nice job keeping this Husky pass rush at bay.
Cougs in the Rose Hours red zone, trips to the left of Eckhouse here on 2nd and 2. Voorhees to the right of Zevi. Brandon Ganesha-Morthy, Leighton Smithson, and Tony Freeman. Here's the snap. They give to Kirby Voorhees. Bounces to the outside. A stiff arm, and he will make it back to the original line of scrimmage. Kind of a tough spot there. You'd love to pick up the first down. The Cougs have been pretty anemic in the running game. 18 carries now for 40 yards for Washington State on the ground. Not much there. The top rusher, just about Zevi Eckhouse. Angel Johnson, 7 carries, 18 yards. Zevi, 7 carries, 17 yards. No gain. It's now 3rd and 2 from the Husky 15.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This is some form of kind of play action pass with Zevi Eckhouse rolling out and getting on the outside. Give him kind of a multiple option to throw or run.
Eckhouse goes under center. In motion goes Ganesha-Morthy. It's a pitch out. Risky play here for the Cougs, and Johnson dropped for a loss of 2. Washington State goes with the pitch, and you're going to need to win on the edge. It's Dylan Robinson who's there to drop him for a loss of 2. Cougs had it 2nd and 2. It's now going to be 4th and 4, and the offense is going to stay out on the field. Washington State down by 14. They were humming that explosive play to Josh Meredith, and now in a real difficult spot.
I tried to take the Huskies by surprise, go under center, fake the fly sweep, and then run a little pitch to Angel Johnson at the boundary. It's well defended by the Washington Huskies.
Big play here, 4th and 4 from the Husky 17. Cougs down by 14. They're going for it. Snap to Eckhouse, has some time over the middle. Pass is caught by Maxwell Woods. The running back is enough for the first down. Only a yard to spare down to the 12. Jimmy Rogers and company roll the dice, and the gamble pays off. The drive stays alive for Washington State.
As much as I hated the 3rd down play call, I love that 4th down play call. Washington State's been fantastic on 4th down this year, running a mesh concept. Shades of the air raid right there from Danny Freund. Gets Maxwell Woods crossing in front of the formation. Good find by Zevi Eckhouse for a first down.
Heavy backfield here. Lechner to the left of Eckhouse, Voorhees to the right. Behind him is Leo Pulalasi. 1st and 10 from the Husky 12. Play action, Eckhouse, pump fake, looking, still has his tied in, dumps it off to Trey Lechner, and Lechner, with forward progress, gets inside the 10, probably down to the 8. We'll wait for the official spot. It's going to be a gain of about 4.
I've seen a lot of that where fake the run and then you run a running back and Lechner kind of out to the same side. Puts a lot of pressure on a defense. Zevi Eckhouse just checks it down for a positive gain on first down.
Ball marked down at the 9. We'll call it a gain of 3 here. Cougs with 3:30. This third quarter has gone by quick. 3:30 and ticking to go in the third quarter. Cougs down by 14, reaching the end zone. So crucial here for Washington State. 2nd and 7 at the Husky 9. In motion, Tony Freeman from left, now back to the right. Cougs throw it, pass deflected and caught. Washington State, a batted ball goes into the hands of Brandon Ganesha-Morthy, and the Cougs will have it here as a 1st and goal marked out at the 2. Cougs go tight formation while Eckhouse go under center. Pap split out wide to the left. It's going to be a quarterback sneak. Zevi push forward. A flag gets thrown at the end from the near sideline. Zevi from the 2 will be marked down at the 1.
I think it's got to be offsides. Yeah, it's got to be on the Washington Huskies offsides. The way the line judge.
Offside. Defense number 6. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Timeout on the field for a defensive injury.
There is a Husky that is slow to get up. And that is Bryce Butler, 6'5", 320 pounds. They have some real size on that defensive front for the University of Washington. The penalty makes it 1st and goal from the 1. Cougs trail by 14, but very much alive in this game. Question feels like right now, can he get those defensive stops? First things first, Cougs looking to punch it in. Will be a quarterback sneak again. I formation here. Eckhouse under center. Here's the snap. Eckhouse goes up, and he gets the ball into the end zone. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Washington State. Xavier Eckhouse helps to lead the Cougs on that touchdown drive, and the offense has impressed here tonight in the Apple Cup. You can see the emotion on the field, not just in the stands from the fans, Alex, but from these players. For 75 new Cougs, it sure feels like and looks like they know the meaning of this game.
Yeah, and you can see the juice from number 4, Xavier Eckhouse. Offensive line, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers. Everybody's excited with the performance of this offense so far. What a response out of half. 2 straight scores. Washington State cuts the lead.
31-23, point after attempt from Stevens. The hold is down from Ryan Harris. The kick on its way. He's got it. Cougs, they've been hanging around in this game. And Alex, Washington's the favorite in this game. They've got high hopes for this year, and so do the Cougs. But this has been a year with a lot of new faces and new coaching staff. You wonder at what point they're on the road. Jed Fish has struggled on the road in his coaching career. Do things tighten up for those in purple and gold on the Washington sideline?
You know what would make them tighten up? A stop by the Washington State defense. That would really change the tone of this game, right? A sack, something big to happen. Get the ball back in the hands of Xavier Eckhouse and a hot Washington State offense.
Washington 31, Washington State 24. Third quarter here. This sold-out crowd at Giesa Field. 2:38 to play. We'll come back after this timeout. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougars Sports Network.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Okay, text from the wedding planner. She's talking about a cake pop mural.
Ah, exciting.
Ooh, it's $8,000.
Oh.
I don't know, we're trying to save for a house.
Well, you only get married once. Or twice. 3 times tops.
There's a lot of bad money advice out there. For knowledge you can trust, come to Giesa Credit Union. Whether it's saving for the wedding or everything that comes after, we can help get you where you want to be. Find a healthier approach to money at Giesa.
Boeing is excited to celebrate with the fans and the community at the Boeing Apple Cup game. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of this classic rivalry. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, we're proud to bring Washington together to cheer on these 2 teams and celebrate this great tradition. Boeing is honored to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup and support our communities across Washington.
As WSU and UW face off, Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Back at Giesa Field, Cougs on a touchdown drive, pull within 7, 31-24. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You are listening to Washington State football on the Cougars Sports Network. (31-24), Cougs down by 7. Washington State capping off a 9-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. Took 5:38 off the clock. Xavier Eckhouse, his 3rd rushing touchdown as a Coug. Here's the kickoff. It is not an onside kick attempt from the Cougs like we saw last time, which was unsuccessful. This is a touchback off the foot of Ryan Harris. And Alex, that big question is, can the defense come through and get a stop here? this Washington offense has been a juggernaut so far. They scored 70 against UC Davis. They scored 38 against Colorado State. And so far, every drive has led to points for the Huskies. Can the defense find a way here?
If ever there was a time, it's right now. Crowds into it. Offense is rolling. Defense has got to feed off that energy.
1st and 10 from their own 25. DeMond Williams Jr. has been a real threat in this game. Snap back to him. 4-man rush. Plenty of time. Over the middle. Finds Jonah Coleman. Makes the catch. Tucker Large wrestles him down to the turf. Not quite to the first down marker. He's out to the 34 for a gain of 9. Some tempo here for the Huskies. Williams Jr. 11 of 13 passing. The snap, the give to Jonah Coleman on 2nd and short. He's got the first down. One extra juke move to his right, wrapped up by Parker McKenna. He falls forward a gain of 2 to the 36, and the chains move.
Yeah, as good as Washington State was on first down in the first half, two series into the second half, they haven't been nearly as good at getting the Huskies behind the chains.
Cougs, though, they have the only turnover this game. Zevi Eckhouse pick on the opening drive for Washington State. 1st and 10 for the 36. Back on the ground to Jonah Coleman. Stutter step, and he is met up down low by Cale Reeder. You can see how fired up Cale Reeder is. So great to have him available for the Cougs. First game last week, only played a little bit, but he's really being let loose in this one. The talented safety transfer from South Dakota State.
And you see the patience from Jonah Coleman, but again, he's just not as effective when he has to stutter his feet behind the line of scrimmage. He finds an opening, but allows Cale Reeder to get in there and make the tackle for short gain.
2nd and 7 from their own 39. Snap back to Williams. Has some time. He will tuck. He will run. There's some turf in front of him, and he runs into one of his own men, but out at midfield. DeMond Williams Jr., he's at 80 yards in this game right now on the ground. He picks up 11. Cougs down by 7. 1 minute to play in the third quarter.
And for the Coug defensive line, in a situation like that, Mike Sanjo, the veteran defensive tackle, dives too far inside, gets out of his rush lane, and allows DeMond Williams to step up through to run for a first down.
Adam Muhammad in at running back. Snap. It goes to Muhammad. No, it's Williams who keeps it for himself, has some room, and he is tripped up from behind. But again, another big hole for Williams to exploit. Not quite the first down, but he gains 9. He's getting close to the century mark with what Williams has done with his legs in this game for the Husky quarterback.
That's just hard because that's run all the way, and DeMond Williams pulls it late.
2nd and 1. This time they go to Muhammad. Muhammad met up and brought down Sony Finau along with Cale Reeder and Ram Stevenson. A real Cougar triple threat there to stop him, but it's enough for the first down. 1st and 10 from the Washington State 38. Coug defense has 3 sacks in this game. It feels like, can you find a way to get them behind the chains a little bit? As that's going to do it for the third quarter. So we are in a tight one here in the Boeing Apple Cup as we head to the fourth quarter.
That is the end of the third quarter. Timeout on the field.
A gorgeous night here in Pullman, the warmest Apple Cup of the 117 that have been played in this series, which dates back to 1900. The Cougs right there with the Huskies, only down by a possession, looking for a defensive stop. We will come back for all the fourth quarter action here at Giesa Field. Our score, Washington 31, Washington State 24. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougars Sports Network.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud. It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Giesa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Giesa Credit Union. Giesa is an equal opportunity lender.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. The winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino.
Hey fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wa-grown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it. Back here at Giesa Field, it is the Boeing Apple Cup. When WSU and UW face off, Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. The whole gang is here. Justin McIntyre on the sideline, our engineer Jerry Kylo, handling halftime and scoreboards Austin Samuels, Chris King in the booth next to Alex Brink. It is the 117th Apple Cup. Cougs have not led in this game. They have trailed 3 times by 14, but here as we start the fourth quarter, very much in this game, down to the Huskies 31-24. Huskies have the ball at the Washington State 38. Alex, big picture, the Cougs very much have a chance in this one. What are your thoughts on what you've seen for the first 3 quarters and what's going to have to happen here in the fourth quarter?
Well, Chris, it's kind of the inverse of what we've seen the first 3 weeks, right? Where an anemic offense has all of a sudden found life and high-powered and making plays, and a defense that was so stout and so highly thought of can't find a way to make the play they need. And that's the complementary football Washington State has to find if they're going to beat a good team like the Washington Huskies. The defense has to find a way to get off the field, and the offense has to continue that success. That's what we need to see, because the defense, particularly on second down, I'm going to keep hammering it, they're getting Washington into second and longs, and they have a chance to get into third down, and they're just not bringing pressure. They're not making the plays, and they're letting DeMond Williams beat them with his feet.
That two-headed monster, those 2 most talented players on offense for the Huskies, have lived up to the billing. DeMond Williams Jr., the quarterback, 10-12 passing, 161 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, 83% completion percentage. On the ground, the Husky quarterback, 11 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Jonah Coleman, total yardage between on the ground and through the air. The Husky running back over 100 and 3 touchdowns. 1st and 10. Back to the action. DeMond Williams Jr. drops back, feeling the pressure, gets rid of it. Pass caught. Denzel Boston has the first down. The Cougs so close, the breath was on the back of DeMond Williams, and yet he still got it off in time. Boston, another reception. It will go down as a gain of 13 all the way to the Washington State 23.
Yeah, Bobby Terrell had a chance. He was coming in. Again, the defensive backfield doing a pretty good job, right? It's taken a long time for Boston to get open, and Terrell almost got home on DeMond Williams, just a half a step late.
Cougs 3 sacks in this game. Out of Muhammad, the running back. Here's the handoff to give to Muhammad. Big hole to the 15, to the 10, still going. Juke move to the inside and finally brought down, but it's all the way to the 3-yard line. 20 yards for Adam Muhammad, the Robin to the Batman of that running back combo with Jonah Coleman and Muhammad. Up on the ball quickly. 1st and goal from the 3. Huskies trying to expand the lead. Here's the snap to give to Muhammad. He is chopped down by Parker McKenna. 1-yard gain. He makes it to the 2. 2nd and goal on tap.
Nice play by McKenna getting in there. Go back to that last play, though. Being run by Muhammad, just felt like Cougs were misaligned. Huskies had 2 receivers and a tight end to the wide side of the field. Cougs didn't have the numbers, and then the Huskies run that wide zone out to it, and it gets blocked up, and just a big hole for Muhammad to hit to get down inside the 5.
And Jed Fish running down towards the end zone. The Husky coach waiting for official indication here. I think he might have just burned his first time out. Fourth quarter, clock stopped right now, 13:29 to go.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
We'll keep things right here and remind you that the Junior Cougs Kids Club is presented by Toyota. It is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Washington State down to Washington by 7. Huskies up 31-24. But if the defense could just get a stop. There's been 1 turnover. Cougs threw an interception on their first drive of the game, and there was a failed onside kick attempt, both giving the Huskies good field position, but they've gotten points every single time they've had the ball. 2nd and goal from the 2. Washington State trying to keep it a 1-possession deficit. Jonah Coleman, the running back, to the left of Williams, trips to the right. The snap, a design run for the quarterback. Bent up and dropped to the backfield. A loss of 5 yards. Washington State comes through. It's Isaac Terrell, a huge 5-yard loss as he snuffed that out right away. Actually, Malaki Taase, who made the stop there for the Cougs, the New Mexico State transfer. And instead of second and goal from the 2, it's third and goal from the 7.
Yeah, it's a huge play by Taase. Kind of shades of last year, trying to run a little sweep play with the quarterback. Great play by Taase to get in there and force his big third down.
Huge moment, third and goal from the 7. Listen to this crowd at Giesa Field. Snap back, pressure coming. DeMond Williams gets rid of it. Into the end zone. Boston reaches up, makes the catch. Touchdown, Washington. 7-yard strike. Williams heaves it up for his favorite target, Denzel Boston. And he comes through with his second touchdown haul of the game. It's Washington 37, Washington State 24. The Huskies have gotten points every time they've had the ball, and only once they've been held to a field goal.
That's the second time we've seen Denzel Boston use that big frame in the red zone. 6'4", climbs the ladder over the top of the 6-foot Kenny Worthy. Really good ball by DeMond Williams, leaving it up high for his big receiver, who just goes and high points it like a basketball player getting a rebound.
Brady Gross on for the point after attempt. Here's the snap. The hold is down, the kick on its way, and it is good. So for the fourth time in this game, the Cougs find themselves trailing by 14. This has been between a 14 and a 7-point lead for Washington. The Cougs have hung around in this game, but the missing ingredient to the formula, as it is now the Huskies 38 and the Cougars 24, is those critical defensive stops or finding a way to get a turnover. That has been elusive so far. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside ourselves. Lights are on in full effect here. Sold out Giesa Field in Pullman. The Cougar offense will look to respond once more. After this break, you're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with a new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 2.99 APR financing on a rugged new 25 Tacoma. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or lease a well-equipped Tacoma SR5 for $279 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. A negotiable dock fee of up to $200 may be added. Call 1-888-48-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
SU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. Here we are, fourth quarter, 12:49 to play here in Pullman. Sold out crowd at Giesa Field. The Huskies expanding their lead back to 14, 38-24, 12:49 remaining in this game. And Alex, for those who have been glued to this game and listening to our broadcast, it might sound a little bit like a broken record, but the positives kind of remain the same. The negatives remain the same. What needs to happen for the Cougs to tilt this game in their favor, and they've stayed within striking distance, it seems to remain the same.
Yeah, and it starts right here again on another offensive series down 14 points. You got to be efficient throwing the football, which Zebi Eckhouse has. 22 of 25, only 3 incompletions. Been really clean with the football, staying ahead of the chains, gains on first down, getting into third and mediums, taking advantage of shot plays. Got to start here on offense.
The kickoff from Ethan Machowski will be a touchback. Washington 6 of 7 on third down. in this game. The Cougs have been able to sprinkle in some sacks. They've been able to sprinkle in some tackle for losses. Washington's been in some more difficult spots, and yet they have found a way time and time again. That one victory for the Cougar defense was holding Washington to a 51-yard field goal attempt on their final possession of the first half, but Grady Gross made that field goal attempt.
Right, and I think at some point, probably very quickly, Washington State's going to have to commit some extra guys, to the pass rush and that sort of thing, just to get Damon Williams off his spot a little bit more, or create more pressure, and trust your guys on the back end.
Zevi Eckhouse, the starter, and it seems like he has not only taken over that role, he's got a pretty firm grip on it right now with the way he's performed tonight. Snap back to Eckhouse, pressure coming, gets rid of it, heaves it up, dangerous pass, underthrown, a lot of contact, and no flag. Carter Paps, the intended target. And boy, for the Huskies, there was plenty of little kind of pushing and shoving from Ephesians Prysock, as the replay shown on the video board here, and the crowd giving their reaction.
Yeah, and honestly, Zevi Eckhouse just left that ball too short. I mean, it was uncatchable from the get-go, so even though there was contact, I don't think they're going to ever get that call.
Cougs have done a good job of making it positive gains on first down. Here it is, 2nd and 10. Play action, Eckhouse steps up, flushed out, heaves it up. Carter Paps will go and can't make the catch. Oh, it was all the way down to the Husky 25, not off by much. But Paps, with 2 Huskies just a step behind him, could not quite fully extend that arm to haul in the pass. Not off by much from Zevi.
Well, yeah, and it was a huge rush a little bit. They had the play action kind of boot pass, and Zach Durfee, number 5, the talented defensive end for the Huskies, was able to slip in, force Zevi up in the pocket. He had to rush that throw, which I think is why he put just a little too much juice on it.
Cougs have not been in this spot a lot. 3rd and long, trying to avoid a 3 and out. A crucial drive here. Back down by 14 again here in the Apple Cup. Their own 25, 12:34 remaining in this game. Snap to Zevi, 4-man rush, gets rid of it quickly, finds Josh Meredith, who makes the catch and sprawls forward to get the first down. 3rd and long, Eckhouse finds his veteran receiver Josh Meredith, and the Cougs keep this drive alive.
Boy, what I love from Zevi is just the commitment to that throw. Got the ball out quick to a playmaker to get the first down.
Zevi takes the snap, surveying into traffic. Dangerous throw that ends up bouncing incomplete. Ephesians Prysock in coverage of Leon Neal Jr. right at the Cougar head logo, midfield here.
And Zevi got away with one there. I think that was kind of a unsure throw of, his first read wasn't there. He tried to work to his backside. It really wasn't that clean. It's probably one you want to see him just choke down and try and get back, get a yard or 2 with his legs.
Down by 14. Huge drive for the Cougar offense. 12:09 remaining to play here in the Apple Cup. From their own 36, pistol formation, Voorhees behind Eckhouse. The turn, the handoff. Kirby looking for some room, runs into one of his own men and falls forward a gain of 5 yards. For the Cougs, there hasn't even been many rush attempts at all in the second half, and overall the ground game has continued to be elusive for the Cougs of finding any consistency. Cougs have carried the ball 21 times now for 45 yards. And we hear about that injury for the defense. That's a former Coug who's now wearing purple and gold.
Timeout on the field.
Buda Al-Ukta is down, being tended to by the training staff. So as the injury stops play here at Giesa Field, we'll take a quick break. 12:04 remaining here in the Boeing Apple Cup. Cougs at home, down 38-24 to Washington. A 3rd and 5 on tap for Washington State at their own 41. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold, so you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So, crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake
fans, how are those fries treating you? How about some cheesy nachos and a beer later on? All of these amazing treats are brought to you by farmers right here in Washington. In fact, Washington farmers raise more than 300 different crops that keep our fridges full, even when you're on a budget. Whether you shop at a box store or a local farmer's market, you can find Washington-grown food everywhere. Visit wagrown.com for more about the food we eat and the farmers who grow it.
Back at Giesa Field with Jessamine McIntyre down on the sidelines. Chris King up in the booth next to Alex Brink, our engineer Jerry Kylo. 12:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. Here in the Apple Cup, Cougs down 38-24 to the Huskies. Washington State with a big 3rd and 5 at their own 41. Would this be 4-down territory? Maxwell Woods splits out wide. Empty set for Eckhouse. Here's the snap, 4-man rush. Zevi looks, heaves it up deep, has a man, and it's going to be overthrown. Trying to connect with Devin Ellison. It is incomplete. Alex, we had this conversation during the timeout. What do you do if you're Jimmy Rogers? Do you leave the offense on the field?
I mean, I think he's going to. You just wish. I think Zevi Eckhouse was probably a little too aggressive trying to hit Ellison down the sideline there. He had Maxwell Woods matched up in that number 3 receiver position going against the linebacker. And I think the idea would be to get to a 4th and shorter, right, than that. Pretty aggressive throw and just a little off.
Neither team is punted in this game. 4th and 5, Cougs at their own 41. The offense remains out on the field. Down by 14. If you're going to find a way to win, feels like converting here is huge to be part of the equation. 1 on the play clock. Here's the snap. Eckhouse steps up, feeling the pressure, puts it up, and it's going to be picked. Intercepted. Once again, Alex McLaughlin. He's off to the races, and he's taking it to the house. Pick 6 for the Huskies as they take a 20-point lead. Cougs roll the dice on 4th down, and it ends in disaster for Washington State. 44-24 in favor of the Huskies as McLaughlin has picked off Eckhouse 2 times here in this game.
And Zevi got rushed a little bit. Looked like Trey Lechner was kind of running what we call a whip route. He's running to the outside, then he's going to whip back in. And Eckhouse had to throw it a little too early. It was almost like Lechner didn't even see the ball coming to him. Went right to McLaughlin. Turned it for the touchdown.
Pick 6, 47-yard return. Grady Gross points after attempt on its way, and it is good. 45-24. Timeout on the field. Tough turn of events for Washington State. Been just right there within striking distance, having it within 7 here in the second half. But now dealing with their largest deficit of the game, with the Huskies expanding their lead to 21. 11:34 to play. We'll take a break. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Whether you're cleaning up to host a backyard game day party or just powering through your fall projects, you can count on the performance of Steel. From blowers to chainsaws, Steel tools are built to go the distance. With legendary quality and real dealer support, you'll find the right tool and the right team for every job. Steel, proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Washington State dealing with their largest deficit here in the Boeing Apple Cup as WSU and UW face off. Boeing proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. 11:34 left to play. 14 unanswered points for the Washington Huskies. Their last touchdown on a pick six. Cougs went for it on 4th and 5 at their own 41. Zevi Eckhouse intercepted for the second time in the game. Alex McLaughlin both picks. His pick six with a 47-yard return. Cougs will get the ball back, but certainly that takes a lot of wind out of the sails for the Cougs. So we'll head down to Jess here in just a moment after the kickoff here for the Washington Huskies. It's been consistent touchbacks for the Huskies in this game. Let's see if that will still ring true. Leighton Smithson will have it go over his head, and it will be a touchback. Jess, what do you got for us?
I was checked out in the injury tent. However, he wasn't taken to the locker room. He is moving quite gingerly on the sideline. He just sat down, and I overheard him tell what I assume is a family member in the crowd that it's actually a knee issue he's dealing with.
Well, thank you, Jess, the former Coug, now playing for the Huskies. Alex, you've been right there in this game. You've been within striking distance, and now you're in a pretty big hole. There's still 11:34 left to go, but for Zevi Eckhouse, we'll kind of sprinkle this in. It's been really strong for most of the game, but that was a huge turn of events there to throw that pick. As here's the snap, it's a little high. It was going to be a design run for Zevi, or at least he kept it for himself, and on a broken play, does he lose the ball? The ball is on the turf. He was going to have a gain of 3. We're waiting for an indication, and on the turnover front, things might just be going from bad to worse. Waiting for an official signal. But the Cougar defense is creeping out on the field, and Zevi Eckhouse fumbles the ball. The Huskies get it back, and the turnover woes, which bit the Cougs in a major way in the first half in last week's loss to North Texas, well, they've been rearing their head here, and it been kept at bay, but now back-to-back possessions with a turnover, and the Huskies up by 21, and they sense blood in the water right now.
Yeah, it was a little bit of either a high snap or a late snap. That was supposed to be a handoff, and the exchange got mixed up, and so Zevi had to keep it, had to avoid that big, that initial rusher got by him, but I think he was just so shaken by not getting that handoff. Ball was too loose and not against his body, got punched out.
Cougs have not stopped this Husky offense today. They have scored on every single possession. They take over at the 28. Snap to Damon Williams Jr. Pump fake. Rolls out to his right. Good pressure from Ram Stevenson. And Williams forced to just throw it away. So on that fumble, it was forced by Dylan Robinson, and Bryce Butler able to recover it for the Huskies. So you go back to the quarterback competition and Jackson Potter starting those first 3 games, and you see the plus of Zevi in this game, and I think the plus is definitely enough where Zevi is the guy. But there was the critique of Zevi where Potter won the job because of maybe the risk aversion at times. Alex, we'll kind of sprinkle this in, what you think about what you've seen on those turnovers. Here, a little reverse pitch, some room, but not a ton for Denzel Boston. He gets 1 yard. Thoughts, Alex, is there will be a flag down, a potential holding?
Yeah, I mean, I think this most recent sequence of events is kind of, obviously the worst case for Washington State.
Offense number 86, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Worst case for Washington State in this game, but it's also a little bit of an example of what maybe Jimmy Rogers alluded to in the way the quarterback competition played out, which was that Jackson Potter was a really good decision maker from spring through fall and was very consistent in that, and at times Zevi wasn't. Maybe took too many chances, turned the ball over a little too much, and that sequence, frankly, when you have 3rd and 6, he passed up an open Maxwell Woods to throw a deep ball and forces a 4th and 6, and ultimately the interception for touchdown.
It is 2nd and 20 after the holding penalty. Damon Williams Jr. takes off, and he is knocked down. Tackle for the Cougs. I believe it was Deron Goodman. No, Jamar Colson, who makes the tackle there. It's now 3rd and 16. And Jackson Potter, it feels like to maximize what he would be, you need a running game. The Cougs haven't had that running game. And with that, Zevi has been able to add that threat in this game.
Yeah, he's been fantastic tonight. Until these last 2 series, he's really kept Washington State in this ballgame. So, that's the silver lining.
Cougs down by 21, 3rd and 16 for the Huskies from the Cougar 26. Screenplay, Jonah Coleman makes the catch. A lot of blockers in front of him. He's got the first down, 20-10 untouched into the end zone. Things have gone from bad to worse here at Giesa Field for the Cougs. A game that was so much within arm's length, so much within striking distance, and you blink, and fueled by 2 major turnovers, the Huskies now have a 51-24 lead on Washington State.
Yeah, Cougs brought a blitz from the boundary. A really good play call from Jed Fish, running a running back screen to the field away from all that pressure. And when Joe Coleman caught that ball, he had about 4 offensive linemen out in front of him, and there was only 2 Cougs to try and stop it. Really no chance to stop number 1 on his way to the end zone.
Grady Gross has been incredibly busy on point after attempts this year. Here's another, and Gross splits the uprights. This Washington Husky offense has been a juggernaut through their 3 games this year. The Cougar defense, though,
timeout on the field.
There have been a number of times, that last drive included, not handed good field position. They have not had an answer. 52-24. Cougs were down 31-24 going into the fourth quarter, but this fourth quarter has had that snowball effect and not in the Cougs' favor. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Imagine waking up in a place where spectacular views change every day, where unforgettable memories are made every night, and where the journey is far more fun than your destination. Now stop imagining and go RVing. Coach Walden here for my friends at Valley RV Supercenter in Kent, the Northwest premier Jayco dealer, the affordable RV dealer and proud sponsor of Cougar football. So whether it's a family weekend on the coast, a winter in the desert, or a tailgate party in the Palouse, your journey begins at ValleyRVSupercenter.com.
The Swinging Doors in Spokane has been family owned and operated since 1981. Open at 8 a.m. every day, with breakfast once again being served all day. The kitchen is open until 9 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and open till 10 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. With over 50 TVs, come watch your favorite team in action, including Cougar games. The Swinging Doors in Spokane, a great place to meet, eat, and have fun.
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 1.75 APR financing or $3,000 customer cash on a new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or you can lease a 25 Tundra SR5 Crewmax for $499 a month for 36 months with $40.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. A negotiable dock fee of up to $200 may be added. Call 1-888-48-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Touchback on the kickoff for the Washington Huskies, so the Cougar offense will take over at their own 25. Washington State has had a very, very difficult fourth quarter, and the Huskies now lead here in the Boeing Apple Cup 52-24. 10:08 left to go. 2 turnovers by the Cougs on their last 2 possessions, as Washington State with the pitch to Angel Johnson met up and absolutely engulfed in the backfield. Any sort of consistent ground game has remained elusive for the Cougs, and meeting him up and making the stop, Isaiah Ward, the talented edge rusher whose uncle is Bobby Wagner, future NFL Hall of Famer and former Seahawk. Loss of 5. Alex O'Kay was 31-24. Cougs were down going into the fourth quarter. And here we are with 9:40 and ticking to go. It is 52-24. It's tough for Zevi Eckhouse and the Cougs as a whole right now. Eckhouse fumbling the ball and then throwing a pick 6. Eckhouse gets rid of it quickly, finds an open receiver. Pass is caught by Tony Freeman. A huge collision between 2 Huskies, and it's a UW player after the 11-yard gain. Slow to get up. I mean, it's kind of two-pronged here, Alex. You can't be -3 when it comes to turnovers and have a chance against a team like Washington that is very talented, and they're improved from last year. That's a 6-win team, a couple of close ones, including the Apple Cup, if it goes their way.
For an injured defender. Please set the play clock for 40 seconds.
They get to probably 8 wins, but they feel like they're much improved this year. The defense hasn't been able to get the stops on Washington. And then a lot of good from Zevi Eckhouse in the offense, but maybe when they're pressing, just some timely mistakes that have added up.
Yeah, and I think that pressing's a good word for it, right? Offense feeling like they're kind of having to chase it because the defense can't get stops. And
here's the snap. Eckhouse play action finds Kirby Voorhees, makes the catch, has the first down, and that will move the sticks for the Cougs. Mikel Esteen, the only 6-year UW player on the roster, his entire career with the Huskies, with the tackle. 52-24, Cougs down. So this drive continues for Washington State.
And you gotta get, look, in the end, you got to give a ton of credit to the Washington offense. They were unstoppable tonight. And to me, as good as Jonah Coleman is, Damon Williams is a special football player at the quarterback position.
And he played a little bit in the Apple Cup last year. He was kind of being sprinkled in, but he is now the man. Pressure coming to Zevi Eckhouse' face. Flushed out to the right. Backpedaling, needs to get rid of it. Heaves it up. That's a dangerous decision, but his throw just gets over towards the Cougar sideline. As Eckhouse was scrambling for his life, it will be 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. While the turnovers have happened here in the fourth quarter, as much as the defense has struggled against the Huskies, there's been some spark. There has been that rhythm for the offense that had been pretty elusive outside of some stretches 2 weeks ago against San Diego State.
Yeah, again, other than the kind of consecutive turnovers up until that point, I really liked the offensive plan and for the most part the execution.
Now 2nd and 10 for the Cougs. Kirby Voorhees behind Zevi Eckhouse. The snap, the turn, the give to Voorhees, and he fights his way. Doesn't even get back to the original line of scrimmage. Huskies swarming, and they will get him back to the 39. So no gain as the clock continues to move. 7:20 and ticking to go here at Giesa Field. For those who maybe tuned in and then tuned out and they're checking back the score, it was 31-24 at the start of the fourth quarter. But the Huskies have been able to score 21 points. The Cougs haven't been able to put up points here in this fourth quarter. And those 21 points, Alex, they came together quickly for the Huskies.
Yeah, unfortunately, that part of it feels very reminiscent of the last week's end of this first half in North Texas.
3rd and 10. Eckhouse takes the snap, backpedaling, heaves it up, has Carter Paps, makes the catch. He'll be close to the first down marker, will be a yard shy here. 4th and 1 near midfield. And neither team has punted in this game, and there's no signs that Ryan Harris is coming out.
Yeah, no reason to. And again, you're just seeing Zevi Eckhouse, his ability there to. He's creative with the way he makes plays, right? And that's what gives this Washington State offense a chance. He's kind of bailing out.
Charge timeout, Washington State. Their first of that half. Please reset the game clock to 6:27. It will be a 30-second team timeout.
Bailing out of a furious pass rush and still able to make a throw. So I think in the end, there's a lot to like for Washington State having Zevi Eckhouse at the helm.
Timeout on the field. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougar Sports Network. All right, Zane, what break are we on here? Okay, we'll keep things right here at Giesa Field. 6:27 left to go in the game. 52-24. Cougs down to the Huskies. Big 4th and 1 coming up for Washington State. You look at the numbers in this one. For Zevi Eckhouse, 26 of 35 passing, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. 3 turnovers by the Cougs in this game, all 3 from Eckhouse. He threw an interception on the opening drive of the game. And then really at the point down by 14. There's 11:34 left to go in the game. Cougs go for it on a 4th and 5 at their own 41, but it ends up being a pick 6. And from there, the Huskies kind of snowballing in their favor. Cougs were down only by 7 when this fourth quarter started, but here we are with 6:27 to go in the game. And the Cougs are down 52-24 to the Huskies. 4th and 1, offense remains on the field. Eckhouse has Kirby Voorhees next to him to his left. Ademola Filet, the tight end, in the game to the right. Bo Baker, the tight end on the left. It's going to be a direct snap to Kirby Voorhees. Here it goes. Voorhees up the middle, and he's going to have the first down. Voorhees needed 1 yard. He got 2, and the chains move.
Yeah, we've certainly seen that from Voorhees this year a couple times on those short yardage situations. He's not afraid to put his nose in there and go get that first down.
So the clock does move here, and the Cougs are in quite the hole to try to change the final outcome of this game, but would love to march down the field, get a touchdown, and try to tighten this one up as much as possible. Trailing 52-24. Snap to Zevi Eckhouse, pressure in his face, and he will step up and be brought down. Isaiah Ward will be credited with the sack. It's going to be a loss of 11. The clock continues to move, 52-24. And instead of 1st and 10, it's going to be 2nd and 21.
This is the moment of a game you hate to be in as an offensive lineman in must-pass situations, right? There's 4 or 5 defensive linemen that just are in track stances with their ears pinned back, and good pass rushers at that for the Washington Huskies. Able to knife in there and get pressure on Zevi.
Cougs letting the clock go down to 1. Will the snap come off in time? It just does. Eckhouse backpedaling, rolling over to his right. Good touch pass. It's Leo Pulalasi who drops it. Pulalasi at least would have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage, but Pulalasi has that ball just fall out of his hands. And the Huskies, I don't think if they get the ball back, they're going to be calling things off at all. I think they want to continue to keep rolling and to try to make a statement as much as possible. And their offense has been very potent this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is a Husky team that, is looking at a 3-0 start and, probably really thinking that they can make some noise with Ohio State coming into town, next week in the Big Ten.
The defending national champs. The opponent coming up next for the Huskies. Empty set, snap, drop. Zevi picks it up. Still has time. Will roll out to his right. It's 3rd and 21. He passes to Leo Pulalasi, who drops his 2nd straight pass. Back-to-back drops from Leo Pulalasi. And not much more you can do except shake your head. And I know Leo feels that more than anyone else in the building right now, but he might have had a chance to get it close to a first down. He at least was going to have a gain of over 10. And the clock would have been kept moving on both. But the Huskies are going to get it back here. 52-24. This Cougar defense has not had an answer to slow down the Husky offense. Washington State trailing. And Ryan Harris on the punt. Here's the punt. High booming punt from Harris. Fair catch called by Denzel Boston back at the 20-yard line. .448 remaining in the game. The final score is not going to illustrate how tight this game was for most of it, and that's the tough thing for the Cougs, where there will be some really good things to build on for Washington State, but you were down by 7 going to the 4th quarter, and 2 turnovers really bite you. In this Husky offense, the Cougar defense has not had an answer to slow them down.
No, I mean, it's been a mix of, quality running game from Washington like you would expect, and Damon Williams' legs, and then some really big plays on 3rd and long and 2nd and long.
Damon Williams Jr. in the game. Screen pass, Denzel Boston, the reception. Caden Beatty can't quite bring him down. Spun around, and Gage Jones in there as the Cougs have some of their backup linebackers in the game. First down reception, 13 yards. So we see Gage Jones, Jack Ellison, and Gavin Barthel in the game for Washington State.
It's a really good example of, for the Washington State defense, kind of their night right there. It's a screenplay to Denzel Boston that Washington State really had sniffed out. I mean, Damon Williams had to pump that ball a couple times. That play should be over, right? Instead, it turns into a first down. Cougs aren't finishing plays.
1st and 10. Huskies at their own 33. Empty set. Quick screen pass. Jonah Coleman, the reception, and he will scamper close to the first down marker. The number for Coleman today, he's getting close. He's over 150 total yards on the ground. 12 carries, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. But through the air, Jonah Coleman, who is really like a bowling ball out there, a major threat. He's gone over the century mark, receiving 6 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown. So 3 touchdowns for Jonah Coleman. As good of a running back as the Cougs will face this year. He is a special player.
Yeah, you'll see Jonah Coleman on Sundays. There's no doubt about it. He's a 3-down back.
2nd and 1, clock moving, 3:30 and ticking to go. Cougs trail 52-24. Huskies with the ball, handoff to Adam Muhammad, and a good swarm in the backfield. Washington State able to tackle Adam Muhammad for a loss. It's Bobby Terrell who brings him down. 3rd and 2, clock continues to move.
Well, this is the time, that kind of where I was looking at. We talked about pregame. What were the keys, right? 3rd down was such a key. Washington, to this point, this 3rd down, 7 of 8 on 3rd down so far in this game.
3rd and 2 at their own 41. Snap back to Williams. 5-man rush. Heaves it up. Open receiver, and it's going to be caught onto the races. It's Amari Evans, and he, so close to the end zone, waiting for an indication. It will be a touchdown. Amari Evans did not play the first 2 games of the season. He was hurt. A transfer from Penn State last year for the Nittany Lions. Started 6 games, played in all 16 as Penn State reached the college football playoff semifinals. 415 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he makes the touchdown there. So this 4th quarter officially getting out of hand for the Cougs. 27 points in the 4th quarter for the Huskies. 58-24 now the score in favor of Washington with 2:40 remaining to play. It was a 7-point game to start the 4th quarter, but that theme has continued. For Jesse Bobbitt, the defensive coordinator, Jimmy Rogers, head coach for the Cougs, this is not how they had hoped the defense would be able to perform. Had higher expectations to slow down the Husky offense. Grady Gross, the point after attempt is up, and it is good, and it is now 59-24. And boy, things have really, the pendulum has swung in such a drastic way, Alex, and so quickly in the Huskies' favor.
Yeah, it starts with turnovers. In the end, that's when you play good football teams and high-powered offenses, the more possessions you give them, the more opportunities they have to take advantage of, and the Huskies have done that tonight. I think they've left little doubt that how talented they are on offense. And, for Washington State's defense, blown coverage there. And it's, some of these things, in the end, it's execution and focus. And, it's a 4-quarter football game, right? No matter how good the first 3 quarters go or the first half goes or how bad they go, right? It's a 4-quarter football game. And Cougs are trying to find, I think, that mentality.
Here's the kickoff. It is a touchback. Again, a lot of good things for Washington State through 3 quarters of this game. But the 4th quarter, my goodness, it has been all Washington. 28-0. The Huskies have outscored the Cougs here in the 4th quarter. 59-24, Cougs trail. 2:40 remaining in the game. And we'll see Julian Duggar come out here. And, Alex, if the game is out of hand and Zevi is your guy moving forward, you don't want to risk him getting hurt when this one is... The final outcome is not in question right now. Julian Duggar, design run for the Washington State quarterback as he falls forward to the 30-yard line. First game we haven't seen Julian Duggar kind of factored in some way, shape, or form. But when you have Zevi Eckhouse and his threat of his legs, it seems like you don't necessarily need that with Duggar and Potter's lack of mobility.
Yeah, I think, Zevi can do a good enough job with his legs to kind of for you to get what you need for the most part. And not have to have a whole nother package. Plus, again, through 3 quarters and some change, Zevi Eckhouse was playing really well.
Getting close to the 2-minute mark here. It will go down to that here in just a second. Cougs down 59-24 to the Huskies.
This is the 2-minute timeout for the second half. Timeout on the field.
Timeout on the field. We will take a break ourselves. Back from Giesa Field after this. You're listening to Washington State football on the Cougar Sports Network.
With the WSU debit card from Giesa, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giesa.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCAA.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
2 minutes remaining to play here at Giesa Field as WSU and UW face off. Boeing is proud to bring Washington together for the Boeing Apple Cup. 59-24, Cougs trail the Huskies. A three-quarter game that was so tight, but it is a four-quarter affair every time you step out onto the field. And for the Cougs, well, the Huskies were able to seize control of this one and essentially take a death grip on this game. For those just tuning in, the fourth quarter started with the Cougs only down by 7. For the first 3 quarters of the game, the Cougs were down between 7 points and 14 points. Washington State got a touchdown, a 1-yard run from Zevi Eckhouse with 2:38 to go in the third quarter to make it 31-24. But a Denzel Boston 7-yard touchdown catch, and that was on a 3rd and goal from the 7 as Washington State was able to get a tackle for loss, a 5-yard loss for the Huskies. But really with that Denzel Boston touchdown catch, down by 14 again, Cougs went for it on 4th and 5 from their own 41, and it was a pick 6. Alex McLaughlin, one of the players of the game, definitely for the Husky defense, he's the player of the game. He's intercepted Zevi Eckhouse twice, won a pick 6. And from there, oh boy, it has been all UW as there was another turnover. Zevi Eckhouse, a fumble, recovered by the Huskies. And the Huskies have not been stopped on offense tonight. And first play after the 2-minute timeout is 2nd and 5.
Illegal snap. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So Julian Duggar in the game for the Cougs on this drive. It's going to be a penalty on the center, Brock Dew. And instead of 2nd and 10, it is 2nd and 5. 2 minutes left to go. Presumably, if you're the Cougs, you try to burn as much clock as you can. Again, the final outcome of this one not in question. And you're going to try to extract the positives. And there's way more positives from this game than there was last week against North Texas. But there's still a lot of lessons to learn and some hard ones for Washington State. Duggar takes the snap. Washington not fooled. Duggar tackled in the backfield. Ontario Thompson with the stop.
And it's going to be interesting, for Jimmy Rogers as defensive head coach to be in a game where your defense doesn't get a single stop the whole night. And certainly a couple of them were, short field situations, different things. Do you wonder if the onside kick, did that change kind of the momentum that maybe you had coming out of half? At what point, I guess, did you feel like Washington was kind of forced to drive the length of the field? Probably only a handful, right?
It's 3rd and 12. Clock continues to move. 1:10 and ticking left to go in the game. Cougs with the ball down 59-24. Julian Duggar in at quarterback. On their own 23. Snap back. Duggar looking to throw, and he will try to scramble out of traffic, and he will be sacked by the Washington Huskies. Clock continues to move. Under a minute left to play in this game. And, the Huskies, they don't have to necessarily take their foot off the pedal here. Looks like they probably won't have time to do much. They're not using one of their 2 timeouts. But this is going to be back-to-back games, Alex, where at best for the Cougs, they will allow 59 points in back-to-back games. And it's a different story against North Texas. Those 5 turnovers, the bad punt, gave the Mean Green great field position. Here, there was some of that. And maybe not 59 points because there was a pick 6, so you're not really factoring that in. Here's Ryan Harris on to punt. Gets off the punt. Denzel Boston will backpedal, call for a fair catch at the 34, and there's 15 seconds left to go. But at the end of the day, as a team, 118 points are going to be allowed over a 2-game stretch.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, you can kind of point fingers or kind of do the, again, you can do the mental gymnastics however you want. In the end, in both games, a large number of points got scored, and in both instances, the Cougs did not play complimentary football, right? Defense might have played okay against North Texas. We don't know. They weren't given a shot because the offense turned the ball over so much. Tonight, the Washington State offense did come to play and did give this team a chance, I think, early, for most of the game to be in it, and the defense just couldn't get a stop. And I think that defense, then the offense starts pressing. I mean, that's really an example of that 3rd and 6, right before the interception. leads to, is an example of the pressing.
Victory formation, and knee is taken by the Huskies, and the clock officially hits triple zeros.
That is the end of the football game.
That will do it. A final here from Giesa Field in Pullman. Washington defeats Washington State. Cougs fall to the Huskies in the Apple Cup 59-24. Cougs now 2-2 on the season, and Washington improves to 3-0 on the year. As much as it hurts for the Cougs to see the Apple Cup trophy will make its way back to Seattle, it will be September 5th next year, the season opener, what will be the earliest ever Apple Cup, where the Cougs will have a chance to try to bring it back to the Palouse. Opening game of the season will be at Husky Stadium between the Cougs and the Huskies. We will take a timeout, but our post-game coverage will be on tap after this break. Not only a full recap of this one, Alex Sprink will head down to the locker room to get the thoughts from the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, and then we'll toss it over to the Coug Talk guys, Derek Dice and Billy Newman. That Coug Talk number 509-905-2014, 509-905-2014. More after this. You're listening to Washington State Football on the Cougars Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Your audio home for all things Cougar Athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
Back at Giesa Field, it is a final here in the Apple Cup, and the Apple Cup trophy is heading back to Seattle. Cougs fall to the Huskies 59-24. Alex, we'll have our full breakdown of this game, but, for those who weren't with us for the entire journey of this one, going into the fourth quarter, Washington State was down by just 7 points, 31-27, and the Huskies were able to outscore the Cougs 28-0 in the fourth quarter. It was just about as tough of a quarter as you could possibly imagine for the Cougs.
Yeah, it really was. And, I think the whole game to some degree is, just missed opportunities and missed chances to steal momentum away from the Huskies. That's the thing that that really never happened for the Cougs, right? The Huskies score in their opening drive, and at no point does Washington State ever feel like they're in the driver's seat, right? They throw a pick on their first play or their first series. They go down 14-0. Then they finally score. They start to get back into it. But in the end, you're always coming from behind and you're always chasing it. And then coming out of half, you cut it to 7, feel great, and you have the onside kick that you don't execute. Then you go down by 14 immediately again. And so again, it's just that's just a hard place for a team to be playing from for 4 quarters against a good team. It's one thing to go back and forth. That was not a back and forth football game. The Cougs were chasing the Huskies the whole time. And, again, there were bright spots. Like, there's no doubt about it. But, there's no ribbons in college football. Like, you got to come out and find a way to execute and compete. And Washington State's going to have to evaluate this, take those good things, but really look deep on some of the things they're not executing. That what surprises me most is there are things that Washington State did well through maybe 2 or 3 weeks, particularly defensively, that were non-existent tonight. And I think that's not the calling card of Jimmy Rogers and Jesse Bobbitt. And so I'm interested to see how that gets addressed.
There's certainly